Hey, everybody. Welcome to Game 4 Live Game Watch with the crew from Too Many Men. My name is Allison Lucan, and as always, I am joined with the stunning, brilliant, witty, clever, and non-shit taker, Sarah Sivian of The Athletic. Sarah, how are you?
I am fabulous. Thank you, everybody, for stopping by. I'm a little bit nervous, but we're going to turn that into excitement because it's just us. I'm going to picture everybody in the crowd naked.
Perfect.
That's it for me.
It's a good entry. And of course, we are nothing without the genius, analytically minded storytelling, focused on all parts of the game of hockey, as we all should be. The Athletics' shining star, Shayna Goldman. Shayna, say hi.
Hi.
Well, gang, we are so excited that you're here. We have just a couple of announcements, and then we're just going to keep it real and go through this game as a crew. If you've been following Too Many Men for a while, you know that each of us have some phrases that we might rely on a little too much. So for our live game watch, we're going to turn these into a drinking game or a snack game, right, Shayna? We can have snacks instead if people aren't doing a drinking game.
Whatever floats your boat. Like, whatever makes you happy makes us happy to a point. And then if not, I'll just judge you for it. It's fine.
Only if it's nice to us. If it's not nice to us, it doesn't make us happy, and therefore is not okay. Right?
You have to eat a forbidden brownie every time. That's the rules. You're gonna be fine.
So here's the saying, y'all, and I will try and keep up with it. When I was getting ready for this show, my partner here at home knew immediately what Shayna's go-to word is. And when you hear Shayna say this word, everyone take a drink. Shayna, give him a demo.
Fuck.
And take a drink. Perfect. And then Sarah Sivian, let the crew know what your go-to phrase is.
Honestly, it has to be said like that.
And of course, mine is literally any and all emphases, they come and go. So that'll be our drinking game. We'll try and keep up with the signs, but have a drink whenever you hear us say those. Or if you have a nomination for a new word we need to add to the list, you can put that in the chat and we'll keep it up. Another fun thing we're going to do, every period of tonight's game, we are going to have a giveaway of a piece of Too Many Men drinkware that we will send your way. We will pose a question to you, and we want you to submit your guesses on Twitter using the hashtag TMM Trivia. So every period, you're going to answer a question. If you want to dive in, give us your nomination for your answer using the hashtag TMM Trivia. And as we get set for this first game to go, here's the question. Here's what we're looking for the answer to. Which player is going to have the first primary assist of Game 4? First primary assist of Game 4. Put your nominations on Twitter using the hashtag. Shout out to our awesome producer, Mike Fuentes, who is giving you the graphics there, the hashtag to use. So check that out. Let us know who you think is going to get that primary helper, not the goal scorer. Hey, now, computer, not the goal.
We don't care about goal scorers.
Hey, who needs goals? It's all about the play beforehand. But let us know who you think, and we will announce our winner at the start of period 2, or maybe an intermission. We have some exciting stuff happening in intermission 2, some big-time guests. We can't wait to hear what they have to say. But hey, someone already likes your necklace, Shayna. Your fuck necklace. They're big fans.
Good, as everyone should be.
Really likes it. Again, now you're just kind of throwing the drinking game on a whole new level already. So
No, it has to come out of my mouth. I have to say it. I'm going to go easy on everybody. We don't need anyone getting alcohol poisoning or sick from their shitty snacks.
No.
The good snacks you can eat enough of. It's fine, but the crappy snacks you can't.
So we think we know that Kadri was taking warm-ups. There is no Braden Point. What other updates do we have going into puck drop for Game 4? What are you guys seeing? What are you guys watching for, things that are surprising you going into what could end up being a 3-1 lead or a series tying game for Tampa? Sarah, what are you looking for?
Yeah, well, it looks like Kucherov is in. That's going to be huge for Tampa Bay. I just am looking for a closer game. I mean, obviously the last 2 games have been a lot of garbage time, a lot of dominance on either side. So I'd like to see kind of a more, I mean, they've been exciting in their own ways too, because I love watching goals get scored, but I'm kind of looking for a low scoring game today.
Shayna, what about you? What's on your watch list specifically?
I would like to see like a good game. That's about it. I don't want, I'm going to keep it super simple. Unlike
She just
me.
wants both sides to have fun.
Yeah, I really don't want like a 7-0 win. I don't mind if a team goes up 3-0 and then the score gets tight and you have chaos. I just want it to be exciting. Like whatever ends up, like these are such good teams and I want to see them like play like it. Crazy concept, I know.
That's been pretty good. I feel all playoffs. Like we've gotten a good, or not all playoffs, all good finals. We've gotten a good final here. Allison, what are you looking for?
Yeah, well, we do. Real quick, I want to answer this because we had a question in the chat. Is it a nomination, one for each team? You can nominate as many players as you want, as many times as you want. We're going to use a random number generator to pick our winner of people who get it right.
I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to point at one the most scientific way. No, I'm just kidding. We do it mathematically. We're nerds here.
They're nerds.
I'm looking to see what happens in net, right? Like if Darcy Kemper is shaky, I'm personally not a subscriber to the Shayna Goldman School of Goaltending Coaching. So I'm going to leave because I'm not mean, Shayna.
I'm not mean. I'm giving Darcy a chance to redeem himself if I let him come back in a second time. I'm giving him a breather without taking away a timeout. That's ideal. Like the whole team doesn't need a reset. Maybe he does. It's not like Vasilevsky when he was good and the team wasn't. Then you use a timeout. This was him bad and the team just iffy.
For those that missed the podcast yesterday, Shayna is advocating for taking a goalie out, putting a goalie back in, and taking the goalie out again. But whenever you can take him out more than once.
She also said instantly he was on a very short leash, and that if he did any little bad thing, that she was pulling him immediately. And I said it'll wound his little soul. That's all I said. So we'll
ruthless.
See. I mean, but I'm looking to see if he can bounce back. That's what I want to see.
It's the Stanley Cup final.
It is.
I'm not saying be mean to him. Say, get the fuck out of here, you loser. Be like, Darcy, come to the bench. Sit for a moment.
Darcy.
No, just
be like, hey, reset for a second. That's what I would say.
So we're watching
one drink.
Oh, did we get it? Everyone drink.
Oops. I didn't even realize I said it.
That doesn't shock me.
Oh, also, if you all get drunk from us cursing so much, you can buy Too Many Men drinkware.
So nice.
You should buy it. You should spend all of your money. Sorry, carry on.
We are, all three of us are watching the U.S. broadcast, to be clear. And I just want to give a shout out to our queen, Emily Kaplan, who has been crushing it this season and also particularly in the postseason. She's so good. We love to see her shine. So shout out to Emily. Yes.
She's so good. And it takes a lot to do what she's doing right now. Like she came to ESPN when they weren't the rights holders and when she was a fantastic journalist and she does a lot of great features and she has been able to transition that into video and into just having this role that people go to school for and dream of. And I don't know, she's just so good at it. So kudos to ESPN for not hiring out. I think it was so smart of them for keeping it in-house and making it Emily. I just
absolutely.
And here, wait, let's ask you, Allison the pro, because you're someone who came into this writing only and did transition into doing TV work as well. Talk to us about the challenges, because I know for me, I speak before I think. I at least have this chance to fix it when I type. You're smarter than me. How do you manage?
Well, I don't know how I manage. No, I know you do. It's so fast. And I think, I've listened to Emily get interviewed a couple of times, and I think what she said about doing her job the best that she can, that I think even writers could benefit from, is ask a question you're genuinely interested in, and then listen to the answer. I can't tell you how many times, someone asks a question, there's this really interesting nugget in the answer, and they just go on to the next question. And I'm like, dude, but they just said, over here, come on, what? But, you have to think so quickly, and it really has changed up the way I watch the game and then how I process what I want to say, particularly because since our data analytics for NHL publicly, at least, are quite slow, we don't always have data right in real time to talk about the game right when a play happens. So those are some of the challenges, in addition to like trying to look presentable on screen, which is a whole nother thing.
You nail that every single time.
Yeah, you're
Well,
so
thank you.
fashionable. As we still try to get you to do fit checks, but you know.
One day she will do a fit check and you guys will be stunned. Wait, can you hear my thing in the background right now?
Just a little bit. Just
Okay.
a little bit.
Should I take my mic out and just put my headphones in here? Or can you guys still hear? If I do that, will you be able to hear what's going on around here?
Can you hear my stuff?
We're professionals.
No.
We're professionals.
No. Okay, so I have both TVs on and you don't hear it, so that might be the way to go.
Sarah, you're good.
We're doing an experiment. 1 second.
Okay. All right. Oh my gosh. This is amazing.
Going on a trip on our favorite rocket ship. Can you hear me?
Oh, we can hear you.
I cannot hear you.
Oh,
Settings.
boy.
I know what I have.
Settings.
Allison taught me well. Audio.
Shayna, who do you think is going to win this game? Do you have a pick?
I am sticking to my guns, even though I've already flip-flopped about the series length.
Got your picks wrong.
I know. I fucking forgot. Sorry.
Friends?
Thank you. You're getting this a lot. You're making this party a little bit easier.
Am I the only one that's broken like the word?
Yes.
Yeah.
You guys haven't got me going yet.
Yeah. Okay, so what was the question? Oh yeah, so I already broke my picks, and like I'm gonna stick to the second set of picks I had and be consistent after flip-flopping and stick with Colorado in 6, which means Colorado wins tonight and then loses game 5 and then wins in 6. That's
so
what
you got Colorado winning tonight.
Colorado wins tonight. I gave you even more, so when I'm wrong, you can tell me. Who do you think?
Oh, boy, it's tough. For Team Chaos, I'm going to pick Tampa. How about that? A close game, Tampa wins. That's my pick for tonight. But I do have Colorado winning the series. Sarah, who's winning tonight?
I've had Colorado in 7 since day one. No big deal. Since day one of the season, no big deal. The regular season.
Humble brag hashtag.
Yes, I'm going to take that one all the way home. But
wait, we make fun of my hand signals.
Okay, but wait. So who's winning tonight, though, Sarah?
God, it really depends on Kemper for me. Like, if he has a bounce back game, they're gonna win. But if not, they're gonna lose. So. Jot that down. I think Tampa's going to win tonight.
Okay.
It's like this whole playoffs has been so slanted to the home ice. I've stopped trying to figure out why that is, and I'm just accepting it.
I'm here for it.
Okay, let me ask you, aka do my homework for me to make my life easier. What is your favorite narrative in this series and your least favorite narrative in this series?
You already tweeted this.
Yes, I know, but you guys didn't give me your answers, and I'm cheating. I'm crowdsourcing because I have a list and I would like to narrow them down.
Okay, real quick though, before we do that, we will do that for sure. But
Okay,
we've got some questions in the chat and we interact with the people, Shane.
Yes.
We interact with the people. So people were asking about rosters. Up to date, some keys on the Colorado side. Burakovsky out. Let's see here. Aube-Kubel obviously is out with Kadri in the lineup. And on Tampa Bay's side, the big notes, as we said already, is Braden Point remains out. Goaltending starters are Kemper and Vasilevsky. So those are some key lineup choices coming down the pipe as the puck gets ready to drop. Now, narrative. Who's available in the lineups? Thank you, Kevin. That's what we just reviewed. Let's see what else we've got. I'll give you your starters real quick. Your starters for Colorado, Devon Toews and Cale Makar, who have just crushed it. Nathan McKinnon, Lehkonen, and Rantanen are your forwards. And for Tampa Bay, Alex Killorn, Brandon Hagel, Anthony Cirelli start up front, while Eric Cernak and Ryan McDonough will be your defensive pairs. All right, Sarah, your favorite narrative. Answer Shayna's tweet so she doesn't get mad at us.
I like the altitude because it's just so.
You love that.
It's just, there's always something, right? There's always some random obscure thing that nobody ever thought of that is suddenly problematic. I didn't hear one thing about I did get a little bit of, I think, altitude sickness when the Canes were in Denver and I went, but I could have just been like hungover. Like I think I just told myself that, to be honest. And I don't think that can be an excuse for Stanley Cup champions. It's always something though. Like, guys, every fan should stop making excuses for their team and get mad at their team again. Anyway, that's my favorite. My least favorite is what are the options? Give me some options here.
Let's see. We've got a couple. Andrew Dunn in the chat says his least favorite narrative is goaltending, and his favorite narrative is Cirelli versus McKinnon. That's a good one.
That's Cirelli versus McKinnon I have written down. I like that one.
Okay. Let's see.
What's your favorite, Allison?
Well, here's the one I like least, only because I feel like we throw it around too carelessly and we haven't really thought it through or looked at actual results, is the rust versus rest. That's my least favorite.
Yes.
Because we quote it when it suits us, and then the rest of the time we're like, see, it's stupid, it doesn't matter. So that's the one I don't care for. My favorite narrative, it's not really about the matchup, but my favorite narrative might just be welcome to the frickin' superstar status, Cale Makar. That's my favorite.
Yes.
How about that?
Yeah, we love that one.
I loved his speech yesterday. He was
oh my God.
How's everybody doing out there?
Amazing.
Yeah,
so good.
I wrote one down, like, can Makar not defend? And I like that one because I feel like there's such a misconception about offensive players, like whether or not they can actually defend. When here he went up against Connor McDavid and look who came out on the other side, and he was so good in the series. What was the other one? I already forget, and I wrote it down.
Okay,
Vasilevsky's high blocker, and I have the numbers on that. That's one.
Wait, that's your favorite or your least
you
favorite?
like that or you don't like that?
I don't like it because I feel like it's not, and like I know I'm someone that's like tweeted about it a lot during the Rangers series because I was interested to see, and now that I have a little bit like more of the numbers backing it up, like I like and dislike parts of it more. I just feel like we're suddenly paying attention to that when that's something that like I'm sure teams have scouted all along,
It's like we all pick something, like one journalist says something or something, one commentator says something, and all of a sudden we're all obsessed with that.
Yeah,
and it drives me insane. Like when I was covering the Canes in their playoff run, and it's like, I want to die sometimes when we're doing these interviews, and it's like this, why do you win at home? Why are you losing on the road? And they're all like, I don't know. Like, I just stopped and I looked at Jordan Martinook and I was like, do you think we're making too big of a deal out of this? He's like, it's not like we're waking up on the road and being like, I want to lose.
Let's shit the bed today.
So stupid. It's just,
we only want to win in front of our fans. Fuck your fans.
Up.
God damn it.
Drink. We may have to shift to water if this continues, Shayna. The game hasn't even started yet.
I'm not even trying. And you guys haven't said your words at all.
Here, because we can grow. We can all grow.
This is a good lesson for me.
Yeah, we're growing as people on this 2-hour journey.
So here's a good question. This is something we've talked about on the pod a couple times. This comes from Emily McClure in the chat. And I know I don't know that we're even going to answer this, even if we talked about just this for the whole game, but do we think Braden Point was holding Tampa back in games 1 and 2? And we've talked a lot about this, about the narrative. Okay, this might be my least favorite narrative of the warrior fighting and playing through any injury, even if your leg's falling off. But do we think that Braden Point was negatively, and this is not his intent, of course he wants to help his team, but do we think Braden Point was negatively impacting the Lightning because he couldn't be at full effectiveness on the ice? Sarah, what do you think?
You just got to get those lungs better in that altitude. No, I'm not going to stop, but I don't think so. I don't think it was really about him. It was more, for me, it's more about the Avs being dominant right now. And I mean, that didn't happen last game, but I do think they were just clinical.
Shayna, game has started here, so we're all going to be kind of looking back and forth. But Shayna, what did you think about Point? Did he hurt the team or did he help the team?
I don't think he hurt the team to the extent of, say, like Ryan Strome playing through his injury, where he like legitimately could not skate and couldn't even play through the game. But I think it's tough. I don't know. I think even if the team knows like he's not 100%, there's that expectation. Like we know we have the superstar in our lineup, and I feel like that's a consideration too.
Ooh, that is. Dude,
well, welcome to Game 4.
Well, I mean,
all right, Darcy.
How did the
that's one of my good narratives too. This series is getting chippier as the games go on. I actually don't like the narrative, but like, of course it is getting chippier.
Is this
now? Let's watch how's
his helmet? That I feel
like the helmet coming off. Wow,
the helmet.
Oh, I'm a little
like
behind.
It was initiated that his helmet came off from Cirelli.
Here.
Yeah.
Oh, look.
Yeah, you could 100%. I would challenge that for goalie interference.
Wouldn't that be interference? Yeah, but we know.
But like
as John Tortorella says, it's a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. All right, we'll sound off on this. Oh, Shayna, how are our votes doing? Did we get a lot of good votes for first assist of the game? If this goal counts.
Let's see if this goal counts. I'm pulling up numbers on goalie interference because I'm curious. Unless they're not challenging.
Of course you are.
Nope, they're not.
Wow.
They're not challenging. I lied. Okay, so.
Wow.
I mean.
Okay, listen. Look, rules are rules. I get it. But just out of general principle, I don't love that. But here we are. Wow.
Here we go. Here's a good angle. I'm a little bit off.
So Sarah is watching on her Xbox, as all good millennials do. So she's a tiny skosh behind us.
Sorry.
You're fine.
At least I'm not like.
Here it is again. Wow.
I mean, so here's the tough part of it. If you make the decision to challenge, we know that coaches challenge in the postseason, they're not as effective as the regular season, even since the rule change, when we know that coaches challenge as a whole has gotten like far more effective because no one's just throwing things at the wall and hoping it sticks. But for goalie interference, there's been a lot of inconsistencies as always, but as much as the success rate's better in the regular season, it's not in the playoffs at all. This year included, like, I think it was like a 0.250 success rate, something like really low for goalie interference. So I understand the risk. That said, and like, do you want to risk going down 2-0 that early to Tampa? But their power play has been pretty terrible, except for that first opportunity in this series. That like, I almost wonder if it's a risk I take, because you can get a huge momentum swing like from that penalty kill. And hold on, wait.
We have no primary assist, by the way, my friends. So the contest remains alive. You can still submit your guesses for first primary assist of the game. Tweet us at @2_much_man using hashtag TMM trivia to mark your answer. First primary assist of the game is what we're looking for here. We still don't have one, even though we have a goal. So there you have it. Alex Killorn getting it off the rebound. Pretty intense.
So in the comments, Jared Phillips, he writes that, that Brian Boucher being improperly utilized for analysis isn't the plot line I saw coming. We've talked about this. I think for the Stanley Cup final, you need a 3-person crew at the very least for in-game analysis. 100%. And he's there. I would totally use him. But let's see. It said it was because it was an immediate scoring chance, which is why they didn't blow the whistle on the play. But like, I still would have challenged for goal interference. Would you have?
I would have for sure.
I would have waited till the puck almost dropped to be spiteful, because that's the kind of person I am. But
because what was it? They timed it, right? John Cooper got over a minute 20 to challenge offsides last game, I believe was the time allotted.
For legitimately what he said, a black and white play. I don't know.
It was Cernak's shot that knocked off Kemper's mask, they're saying. But I thought it was
Killorn.
Yeah,
that's what the app says, Killorn. So I guess we'll wait a second and then good. Well, hold on. So it's 8:23-ish in real time the goal was scored. So any tweets before that will be considered for it.
No, there's no.
They added.
Oh, here we go. It
primary
is
six.
Alex Cloran. Got it. Thank you. Okay,
Yeah.
so it is Alex Cloran. If that was your guess, by 8:23 Eastern time, you're going to be entered into our very highly scientific lottery to win a piece of Too Many Men drinkware. Shall we give the people their choice, Shayna? Shall we give them, because we have a wine tumbler here. There's a water bottle, which I have over there. I'll get that at some point. And then you can model the pint glass for the people. Sarah opens another can.
I didn't know anybody could hear me. I'm sorry. I was drinking my other drink a little fast because I wanted to try this pickle beer. I know I'm not supposed to be whatever, but it's just like a random pickle beer I found today, and there's a cat on the background. So I wanted to I just really wanted this one.
Try it. Taste test it out of 7.
Yeah. I'm doing a flight with pints. Not really, though.
Okay,
Don't worry.
Did you taste it yet?
Really. Not
Did
yet.
you taste it? Okay. We need to know how it tastes.
Give me a second. I'm waiting for it to go down.
Okay. All right. So let's take a look here. I'm going to look and see game underway. And something we'll probably talk about a little bit is some of the reference sources that we all look at in game to see how a game is going, in addition to what our eyes tell us. And what's really interesting, this is part of why I hate just the shot counters in game broadcast, and I get it, but shots, actual shot attempts, is more or less even. Again, it's a very small amount of time, with the Lightning having a slight edge, but the Lightning have a massive edge in shot quality, almost 84% of all shot quality, according to Natural Stat Trick, a site that I know we all live and love with. So just a very interesting and different way to see shots versus actual shot quality. Shayna, what are you seeing?
I'm checking the hashtag, actually. I'm listening to everything you're saying. I agree with you. Everything you said, I agree with you.
Do you know what I said?
Yes, you were talking about shot attempts and how you use Natural Stat Trick.
It's true.
What? I'm listening.
You're doing
I'm a
wonderfully.
multitasker.
I love you so much. You're amazing. You're amazing.
I love you.
I love you. Oh,
Okay, please hold. Let me find this out.
Okay.
I'm getting to
Sarah, have you tried the pickle beer yet?
Well, I'm about to, but somebody just said Kadri's shots not right, and I think we might be overanalyzing him a little bit, but I agree. Like I'm keeping my eye on those that are said to be hurt. So
yeah, it's a great point. It's by Rich Lino, and Rich, I apologize. Lino, thank you.
That's Rich.
Oh my
God.
That was Shayna's boyfriend. Can we say this?
Yes, you can say.
I don't know if he wants to live an anonymous lifestyle.
How do you say it?
Lano.
Rich.
Yeah.
It's like a whole new day. We're meeting you afresh.
Can you hear this, Rich? You can. He nodded.
Yeah.
He has headphones. He's over there.
So
he
Rich
has AEW and that like on 2 screens because I put AEW lower, so we don't hear it. So he has like full headphones on.
So great point by Rich is that, and for
Rich.
those of you who may or may not have been following it to the nth degree, is that Kadri's injury was to the thumb. I do believe he had surgery to help repair it. And even if you're bringing him back up into the lineup, I mean, that's such an integral part of a shot, particularly for a player like him where that's his primary weapon. So I think Sarah's spot on to say that that's something to watch. And it's really, it goes back to the point discussion too, right? Like if he can't be effective, is the Lightning going to take him as seriously defensively? Or are they going to be able to now focus on other players because they know that Kadri can't challenge them in the ways that they're used to? So that's definitely going to be something to watch.
I'd kill to be a fly on the wall in those like strategy meetings. Just, I want to know what they're actually saying.
For sure.
Maybe you wouldn't have to come up with such horrible narratives if someone just let me in just once. I promise I won't.
Just once. This doesn't work.
Rich is the new celebrity of our chat. Welcome, Rich.
Can I have the other remote too?
Oh, here we go.
Thank you. No one had Cologne, so let's do it this way. I'm next ready. Trivia we do, let's decide which drinkware we're going to do, and each trivia we can rotate it. Is that too hard
Okay.
to remember? Are we going to remember
That's
this?
a lot of rules.
That's okay. No. Never mind. Fuck it.
Drink.
Time for the pickle beer.
Oh my God. All right. And to clarify,
I expected more pickles per 60. Not that good.
To the question, I don't scream for Adam Cole, but I do like Adam Cole. But if I have to pick an Adam in AEW, it's Hangman. Thank you for the question.
I have no idea what any of that was.
There was a question about AEW, so I'm answering it. You guys are wrestling experts now. What
now
don't you
we
know?
are. So again, and just to clarify, Shayna, you said this earlier, and just to clarify why that shot was allowed to count as a goal is that even if a goaltender's mask comes off, if the team has a scoring chance, play can continue. So that is why the goal counted. And obviously people much smarter than us knew that and decided not to challenge the goal. I tell you, like, have you guys have seen the rule book? Like, it comes out every year. If you're in media, they hand them out usually, bless you. They hand them out usually. It's about this thick. It's about this big. Bless you, Rich. And it's like
It's
so
not Rich.
much. Who was that?
It's Everett. He coughed so loud that even with my headphones on, we can tell. It's okay.
Bless you, Everett. We love you. Kisses.
Everett, they're saying bless you.
I do like the delay though, because I just heard him laugh in real time to what we said. So like, it's funny to hear and get a gist of the delay a little bit. Like his reactions.
That's going to trip me out. We're living in all kinds of time. Time is fake.
All kinds of time.
We're time traveling.
All right. So we know why the goal counted. Yeah, and again, so this is what's interesting. So talk us through your thought process here, Shayna. This is something you and I obsess over way too much. I just went off about how I don't like the shot counter. I think there are better things we could show. But what's even interesting is we're looking at the shot counter right now, and ESPN has it at 6-2 advantage Tampa Bay. But that doesn't include all shot attempts, which, let me refresh, see where we are there. All shot attempts, it's a 9-7 advantage for the Avs, which is a different story when we talk about shot volume. So how do you reconcile that, Shayna? And what's your thought process when you kind of challenge just seeing a shot count, which is only shots on goal, which are only shots that the goaltender interacts with or ends up in the net, which is such a narrow definition? Shayna.
I feel like we always see shots on goal and blocks, but it would help to see shot attempts. And if you want to keep blocks, keep them. And then we can try to quickly see the missed shots as well. Just to have an idea of like, is the team actually getting their shots off? Are people diving in front of those shots? Do they have bad accuracy? Like, it's just better details on the game, which is why like sometimes when we see like face off won and then another column will be like face offs lost. Like, obviously we can quickly do the math that if one team has the advantage, like, I just think that there's like a clear way to do it because you don't want to be like overwhelmed with numbers, and it does have to be workshopped. But I don't know, more information is better, and different information from what we're accustomed to seeing is definitely better. So I would like to see shot attempts. I have no problem seeing blocks, and I don't know, maybe like, do we get a little spicy and throw in some expected goals? Like, I don't know. I wouldn't be upset. But if we see expected goals, there just needs to be clarity on what the model is.
Who's the source? Cite the source, people. Please. Please. Sarah, what do you look? Is there a key number you look at when you're watching a game?
I'm sorry, what? Like, I don't know why he thinks he can talk to me right now. What?
Too many men.
What did you ask? Sorry.
I asked if there was a key number or group of numbers that you look at in game to kind of understand what's going on in addition to what your eyes see.
I like expected goals. I do think sometimes that's better at the end of the game, just to like get an overall view of the game. I like missed chances. I like high danger. I don't know how accurate high danger is on natural stat trick. Honestly, I almost said statural nat trick, but I think that's one that I use a lot to get a grip on the game.
Let's see. We have a question here from Ben Lutz, DC. Can it be possible to have ESPN show real-time ozone time or XG? So I have seen them show offensive zone time. I don't feel like there's been enough public work on offensive zone time for us to put a ton of stock in it. just yet. A long time ago, one of the great minds in hockey analytics space, Jen-Luc Costello, did a project, and I helped her with it, where we looked at the key elite goal scorers in the league at that time and actually timed how long it took them to score a goal and what happened before it. And she actually had at the time like types of goal scorers. Like at the time, sit with me, bear with this, I know it'll be shocking, Ryan Johansson was one of the leading goal scorers in the league, and he was a quick strike player. He would come into the zone and score within seconds. So for him, offensive zone time, it's not a statement on whether he's going to be better or worse. He doesn't need a lot of time, whereas other players did need a lot more time. So I don't know if I love offensive zone time yet until we talk more about what it means. But I would love for ESPN to show XG. They just need to be able to get it and tell us where they're getting it from.
The only
Shayna?
thing with the real time I would wonder is like how, I feel like that's something you could have at the intermissions, like second segment of the intermission, they could show it, because like I would imagine it would take a second. I mean, if there's puck tracking and all of that clicks, then where the shot was taken, the angle, the location, the distance, and all of those numbers that you need to know in the pre-shot movement can quickly calculate, right? I would imagine. And then maybe you just need a manual tracker to filter in the shot type, because I imagine you can't see that on puck tracking.
Right.
And so it might take a second to input that and then calculate the value of it and then get that number. But even if it's a couple seconds off, like you see it every time it's back from a commercial break, like if that could be real time enough, I think.
Yeah. And what's interesting though too, and Shayna, you and I know this from some of the stuff we've had access to, we're not getting it clearly defined if this is the puck just in the offensive zone, or does the team have possession of the puck in the offensive zone, which is two very different things.
And I think some offer it as two different things.
Yes.
But
yes,
what you're handed versus what you put up might be two different, you know what I mean? Like it's
Totally.
ensuring you're interpreting it correctly. And I don't always, and I'm not trying to knock anybody, you know, it's just, I think that's an easy misconception, because that's something I would have thought as well. And then like, now that I actually have my hands on data like that, I can be like, oh, okay. And I think it's helped me understand things a little bit more, but it's also caused me to have more questions, because I don't, you know, it's different. And also like different places track things differently too. So when there's more consistency in that, it'll help. But I do think in a sense, it's good to have different sources available too, to push everyone to be better. Maybe someone has a different idea of something that should be included. Like, I think that is always important. That's why with the public models, we know everyone's working with the same data. It's just a matter of how they interpret it and figure what's important, you know? And someone mentioned that IceCast has offensive zone time. Yes, but their numbers on it, I feel like could be a little bit more descriptive. Like, I watched it for one of the games just to see what it was all about. And that's the most, like, I guess, advanced stat they have. And then there's some very, very, very basic stats to go with it that I just feel like there's a bigger opportunity. And obviously this is the first year that they're covering hockey, so you got to give it time. And it's not, you know, they definitely have exceeded previous rights holders in a short amount of time anyway. So
we need to bring back the glowing puck. I agree with you.
No.
And someone else said, feels like a tough data integrity question for a network to broadcast in real time. And yeah, I get that too. We don't want to get a little too inside baseball with it all, I suppose.
Shayna, Sarah, we had someone disappointed that you took off your glasses. Adam Jameson thought this was a glasses show, but then you took yours off.
I put them on and take them off. Sometimes I've just seen enough in this life.
You're like, you see, it's like Shayna's goaltending, you with your glasses on, off, on, off. Give your eyes a rest.
So
bring them back.
Exactly. I got to get my head in the game sometimes. Sometimes I like to see things a little blurry.
And it's tough too if you like look here and you're looking up and it's like up close to distance. I got a pair that like eases the prescription. They're not like bifocals or anything, so it's like less on the bottom so you could look at your phone. But like, oh my god, those are an adjustment. I got them and I'm like, still I can't like walk around in them because the sides are so funky. So I totally get it.
It was like, I didn't expect when I first got glasses earlier this year, I didn't expect it. I got a headache when I took them off. I'm like, I thought I was doing it wrong. And then I looked it up and apparently that's common.
Yep.
So.
Totally. That's why they have like things to try to minimize the strain, but then it's like adding things on top and getting adjusted to something else. worn glasses for, I'm trying to count, like 15 years.
We are an optometry podcast now.
Yeah,
this is what
now
we
are.
I got them earlier this year, and
oh my God, you couldn't see in practices.
This is the best story. Tell this story.
There's
about
multiple
the lines.
stories about my eyesight, but
tell
first,
the line story.
Okay, well, if you guys, any of you follow the Canes, and I make fun of people for asking me to do my job, like on Twitter, they'll be like, "What are the lines?" I'm like, "Why would you ask me that?" Like, I'm at morning skate, just sitting there, not tweeting the lines, and I would make it into that people asking that were asking for way too much, and then it became this joke with everybody that you don't ask me for the lines. When in reality, like, I would have given the lines, but I just couldn't see, and I needed to figure out like how to make that into a joke because I couldn't stand there and squint every day. I would just retweet the other reporters, and I'd be like, "I'm not the girl you asked for the lines," and that's literally my job description. But the other story, so I went to get my glasses, and the optometrist was like, "Wow, it's really rare. Like your eyesight starts getting bad in your late 20s. Either it's like late teens or your 40s." And I was like, "No, this was like late teens. I just haven't really had the opportunity." I just didn't even know it was that bad until a few years ago. I remember trying to look at a sign, and everyone else was just reading it like to get drinks or something. And I'm like, "What are you guys doing?"
I can't see.
I'm like, "I think I need glasses."
So Shayna, I'll put this one up to you, and I'm not going to say the name because I don't want this person to think that we're giving them a hard time. But someone commented that IceCast has hits too. That's how you judge a game. So let's talk about what hits do and do not tell us about hockey. And this is something I love. JT Brown, who is the on-air analyst for the Kraken, always makes this point. And I just love that he does it, especially as a former player. But Shayna, what's the risk at putting too much value in hits in a hockey game?
If you're hitting, you don't have the puck. And in hockey, you should have the puck. You can't score goals without the puck unless it's something super fluky. So it depends. Like, there are places that track it now and it's a little bit more advanced, like, effective checking, essentially, you can try to find by looking at hits that separate a player from the puck. But like, there are more hits that are important than just that. Like, a player can move the puck quickly because they're scared a hit is incoming and things like that. So yeah, like, hits can be effective to a point, but just because you have a high number of hits doesn't mean that you're doing anything with them. I think the Penguins, the back-to-back years they won the Cup, were a good example of that. They were like a smaller team and everyone made such a big deal of it, and they were, lower in hits, but they still, were very effective when they did hit to get possession of the puck, and that facilitated their game. So that should be the idea.
That reminds me.
Oh, go ahead, Sarah.
You know what, Allison? I'm going to weigh in on this analysis.
Let's go.
It reminds me of the Makar debate, right? Like, can he actually defend? Like, he doesn't need to when he's constantly taking the puck out of the other guy he's defending's hands and putting it into his own. Like,
Shayna, we have an important development. Are you ready? They've updated the primary assist. Did you see?
Okay.
It's Cernak, not Killorn. The shout out to Earl Sparks for bringing this to our attention in the chat, which is another lesson. You always have to keep checking the NHL stat sheet because stuff can change. So we may have a winner. Shayna's going to check that and come back. Vance Williams makes a really interesting point, and he says, does the hockey analytic community still frown upon blocked shots? Looking like Tampa Bay is getting a bunch of them, right? Thus the shot discrepancy. So Vance, we can look at this, and if we go to this game sheet from the NHL right now, the Avs have 8 attempts blocked, and Tampa Bay has 4 attempts blocked. So the Avs are getting a lot more shots blocked. You are correct. Part of the reason why we can't put as much value on them as I think we might want to in the hashtag analytics community is it's about how they're currently tracked publicly, is that we're not getting data necessarily of where the shot was taken versus where it was blocked. And so because it's not necessarily accurately representing what happened, that's why we don't put a lot of stock into block shots. Shayna, did I miss anything on that? We'd love to. I think there are questions there that could be answered, but the data that we have publicly isn't necessarily as complete as we'd want it to be to really understand what's happening.
Yes, you're correct. Two things. No,
You,
Kenny, my necklace does not say puck. It says another word that if I say, everyone has to drink more, and I am being courteous. Nobody had Killorn. There we go. No one had Killorn, so no winner.
It wasn't Killorn.
I mean, Chernak. No one had Chernak either. No winner, which like unsurprising. Yeah, no, it's just sometimes with block shots, they're reactionary instead of proactive. And a really great story on this was Dom Moore and I were talking about the Selke trophy and how you measure defense and for forwards. And he was told that he should be trying to sell out a little bit more and block shots, when he even said, like, those might look flashy and good, like it was for his penalty killing partner. Like, he was trying to find a way to stop the shot before it even happened. So that's the proactive approach to doing it. So sometimes it doesn't help to just dive in front of a shot. It might not be a good thing. And like, obviously I'm biased here and using the Rangers as an example, but you could look to the days of Dan Girardi and Mark Stahl at times where they block shots that either completely took them out of position because they couldn't get back up in time, or it was an overreaction to misplaying something. So it's tricky, but it can be effective. I think Tampa Bay is what a good example of a team that uses shot blocking to their advantage. And a player like Ryan McDonough, again, Rangers bias, I'm sorry, but Ryan McDonough stands out to me for that because he rates highly in stick checks, using his stick to separate opponents from the puck. Body checks, using, hitting to separate opponents from the puck, and then block shots and block passes on top of it. So if you can hit all of those categories, that's a good thing, in my opinion.
Excellent. And there was a follow-up question on the study I mentioned about offensive zone time. And it was a great question. The question was, did we also track goaltenders? And the answer is no, we didn't, because we were looking at whole seasons of data, which is why the more we can look at those influences of goaltending will kind of balance out. That's the whole point of sample size. It was more about how the offensive player was playing their game and how they got set up for scoring chances versus the actual number of goals per se. So we did not, but I think it could be a really compelling wrinkle to examine going forward. Shayna, people like your blue hair.
Good. I just dyed it again. And I'm sure I will dye it again in 2 weeks because I'm impatient. And the second it looks wonky, I change it. But
Shayna, what are all the colors that your hair has ever been?
Good question.
Thanks.
I've done red, done orange unintentionally a couple times. I have never outright done yellow. I've done like yellow, like red, orange to yellow and like strips, but like never outright yellow. Have done lime green, never fully did dark green, have done pink, purple, blue, done brown, have attempted blondes, and I've had silver. My favorite was, like, it's hard to do your own hair, but one of my favorite things I've done, we got human hair extensions and we actually painted them. So we painted, like, we were in middle school and our hairs were so ugly at the time. So these were the nicest part, like, that we dyed. We painted them rainbow, and then we took celery and you slice it and you dip it in black and do it one way and then turn it around, do it the other way. And it made leopard print. So like, I was very seen, but I had like rainbow extensions with leopard print on it and like coontails go with it. So that was one of my favorites. But I like the all teal, like, that I had earlier this year. That's probably my favorite and what I'll go back to after the summer.
That was a lot. There we go.
I've dyed my hair
I didn't
a lot.
expect it to be that much. We need pictures of the lime green.
I know.
I mean, it's not all of them. I've been dyeing my hair since I'm in like 5th grade. So like, not all of them have been good. Think like middle school me attempt, like the second I would get an idea and attempt it, like, it didn't always come out very well.
Were you an emo kid? Like, what were you like in middle school?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Me too.
And very seen. I sewed up my own jeans to make them skinny because like they didn't sell skinny jeans. They went to like flares and I didn't like them. So I sewed up my own jeans. I had like, I would wear like plaid skirts. I had, checkerboarded Vans and like all the things that are like coming back now. And I'm like, oh, cool. I still have mine. Yeah. I had the Skittles Dunks. Love those.
Oh my God.
That's Sarah.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No.
Sarah, here's one for you. You brought this up already. I know you have big thoughts about it. Michael Hickson asked, is the offensive defenseman still the hottest position in hockey outside of good goaltending?
I love an offensive defenseman. Oh my God, score 1,000,000 points. That's the point, right? No point in warmups. That is the point, to score goals. My column. But I do think it's interesting because what do the defensemen like? I talked to Torrey Krug about this a few years ago, and he was like, "It's like a track meet these days." And what's interesting about defensemen, he said, is that it like cycles in and out, like what they're used for historically around the league. I'd love a Shayna article about this or something, but like it.
What if we team up on an article like
Yeah.
this?
Oh, you
I
hurt
could
my
get some
feelings.
quotes and you could do some numbers and
Nice off-season story.
yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay, done. So check back for that. My dad just commented.
I was just gonna say we've got a Sivian in the chat. A Sivian in the chat. Jamie
Sarah.
Sivian.
Mom and I are watching. I'll do it in his voice. Sarah, Mom and I are watching. We love Shayna and Allison and you, of course. Carry on.
We love the Sivian family. We love the Sivian family. They're amazing. So good. So good. Yes, the offensive defenseman. And, you know, I had the opportunity to cover Zach Werenski in Columbus, and he's a special player too. John Tortorella always called him a rover, meaning he wasn't even a defenseman anymore. He had such an offensive side to his game. And again, on my constant campaign, as started in my world by Ryan Stimson many years ago for positionless hockey, this is what we're here for. I'm with you, Shayna. Let's bring it on. Let's bring it on. We have people asking, who are we fans of? Which teams? Someone said, who's the Ranger fan? What are the other teams you ladies follow? What teams are you all fans of? So let's start with saying we actually aren't fans of any team, right, wrong, or indifferent. When you become a journalist, you have to adopt a degree of impartiality so that you're telling the true story and not just a biased opinion. But in terms of the teams we cover, Sarah, let's start with you.
I currently cover the Carolina Hurricanes. I've done so for 4 years. We'll see what's next. I actually want to say I am a Penn State hockey fan. I went to Penn State as they went from club to D1, and I consider myself, I'm allowed. It's still though, like the concept of being a fan, like when you go to so many of these games, you just root for an interesting story. So I felt weird kind of going to Penn State hockey games as a fan. I'm like, people are yelling down here. What's going on? I'm supposed to be typing. It feels a little bit wrong. I still root for the guys though. And
you said honestly. You said honestly.
Oh, honestly.
Everyone take a drink. Sheena, you're not even drinking. Your cup is like
Hockey
7/8 full.
I love that people know Hockey Valley in here.
Drink, so I figured I would make a mixed drink and drink it slow. I don't think I'm drinking. I keep saying the word I'm supposed to.
Okay.
Don't
All
point. Right. I'll drink faster and then you guys will regret that, but that's fine with me.
Shayna, what teams have you covered? Do you cover now?
I write about everybody now, but I wrote about the Rangers for a while and I write a bit about the Devils, but I really just write a little bit about everyone, which I think it's really cool to have the singular focus and be in the ins and outs of every day. And like we talked about this before, like what we prefer to do. For me, I like watching a bit of everybody because I like the perspective it gives me and I like to bounce around more, but like to do the ins and outs and be so creative with as many What did I do?
Keep going. Nothing. Sarah's down her third beer.
No, that wasn't me.
Oh, who was that?
That's Rich. Oh. Rich is watching wrestling. He's having a good time.
I thought that was you, Allison. That's why I looked at you. And you said 3. I was like, what? And no, I didn't drink the whole first one. I was so eager to get to my pickle beer, which is disappointing me, that I kind of threw the other one to the side. I had half of that one. So
that's fair.
Anyways, carry on.
Go ahead, Shayna. Covering a little bit of everything. It's what you like to do.
Right. Oh yeah, it takes a lot of creativity to like come up with new and fresh angles for one team all year, which like I give both of you like so much credit for, that you have so many stories and so many ideas. And like I think that's like a cool challenge, and it's cool to look at the game different ways. Like there's a ton of us out here. It's how do we set ourselves apart. And I feel like we all do from each other and from everyone out there.
And I used to cover the Columbus Blue Jackets, and now I cover the Seattle Kraken. So shifted conferences, shifted time zones, coasts, everything like that. We missed let's see, let me get it back right here. We missed the Avs penalty giving the Lightning a power play, but the Lightning could not convert. And friend of the pod, longtime friend of mine, Jeff Svoboda, commented, are we seeing a power kill? Shayna, did we see a power kill here, do you think?
I feel like we don't give Colorado enough credit for their penalty killing. Like, we expect Tampa Bay to be really good defensively and to be strong penalty killers. And in the regular season, it was a weakness for the Avs. But, like, they've impressed me a lot with their penalty killing this postseason.
I'm not impressed.
Power kill? Oh, no. Yeah, you wouldn't be. Look at the penalty kill you watch.
Yeah, the Canes had historically one of the best power kills or penalty kills of all time. So good that they named it a power kill. But it crapped the bed in the playoffs, so that's all that matters. It was actually pretty bad in the play. It was like they forgot who they were, but I think everybody
clearly
should
when they weren't at home. I mean, when they got on the road, they had total amnesia.
It was a mess. They took one game, 9 penalties, and probably 8 of them were deserved. Oh well, I digress.
Well, it is the end of the first period. Tampa Bay still has a 1-0 lead over Colorado. We are expecting a very special guest to hopefully be popping in soon. I guarantee that you're going to want to hear from this individual. So if you need to grab a quick drink, take a quick bathroom break, I would do it now because our guest is going to be coming. This is a good question. This is fun. And I'll even expand it while we wait. Thomas Davis asked about this from a postseason, but I've seen this even in the regular season. Favorite postseason tradition? Rats, octopi, something else? So we're talking about the random things that people have thrown on the ice in support of their team. We have catfish in Nashville too. Shayna, is that you raising your hand, or do you have another answer?
I pushed my glasses up. No, why don't we make it an FMK?
Oh, I like it. Okay, so for those of you who aren't familiar with the show, every episode we do a fuck, marry, kill with 3 options. And we now have this from Thomas Davis. We're going to fuck, marry, kill rats, octopus, or I guess we're going to throw in catfish. Can we think of something else from another team?
Catfish. Oh my God. When PETA came after the catfish.
Catfish, rats, and the Detroit throwing octopus on the ice. That works, right? That's 3. Okay. I can't think of any other.
All right, Sarah, you're up first. Fuck, marry, kill. Oh, well, listen, I'm the one saying fuck. So if I say fuck, do people have to drink?
Yes.
No. Yes.
Yes. Let's go.
Yes.
Okay. All right,
Anyone
Sarah.
drops an F-bomb.
Sarah, F, marry, kill.
Am I allowed to kill them all? I think it's all. You know
yes.
what? I'm going to marry rats because I think that it's good that they have a tradition in Florida. And I think that and Jimmy Eat World are the 2 things, at least they have some tradition. Like we need that. But I'm going to kill the rest because I just think it's stupid. I'm sorry.
Shayna? Oh,
wait.
Look who's here.
Hey. I'm trying to figure out what my FMKs would be here for rats.
It's work.
I thought I'm coming on. We're talking about Darcy Kemper. I was gonna come on with a neat little point out. Hey, did you guys notice how Nikita Kucherov has gone back to black tape for Game 4 here? It's a wild.
We have the hard-hitting analysis, Jeff. Hard-hitting.
Fuck, marry, kills here with rats, octopus, and catfish. Welcome to the program, Merrick. How you guys doing tonight?
You guys, we are so excited. Please join us in welcoming the legend, one of the smartest, kindest, most supportive, and encouraging people in this hockey space. Sportsnet's Jeff Merrick Show, produced by Jeff Merrick, hosted by Jeff Merrick, and the host of 32 Thoughts, Jeff Merrick. Jeff, we are over the moon to have you join us. Go fuck, marry, kill.
Okay, hang on a second. But first of all, Civ, and I'll tell you what, Blue, I like calling you Blue because of your feathers. Shayna, I love it when Allison reads the card exactly as I wrote it. Like, you nailed that line for line with the big send up, the big intro there, Allison. You know, there's an old saying, sometimes you paint a Picasso and sometimes you paint a barn. That, my friend, was a Picasso introduction, just as I wrote it up for you. Put a little something extra in your envelope. I don't know what I would do with this one. I was a big fan of Scott Mellenby. I still am. So I kind of am a little bit dear to the Rats. I still kind of dig that tradition. I've never really understood the octopus thing. Like, I get like the genesis of it with, once upon a time you needed 8 wins to win the Stanley Cup and the 8 tentacle. Like, I get all that. I just found throwing an octopus on the ice real gross. I know Detroit Red Wings fans are howling hearing that. But I've never really kind of got it. And I don't know. I always kind of thought catfish were kind of cute. I always kind of like the looks of catfish. So I don't know. Maybe you guys can decide for me, given that criteria, because I can't figure out who my F, who my M, and who my K is.
You have to decide.
On that one.
We're the hosts now, and you're the guest, and you have to do
Jeff,
what we say. That's the rules.
Do you have a drink with us?
I got
while
water.
You're doing this?
I got water. Listen, I'm, as my wife says, I'm born to be mild. Like my all my fun days are like all in the rearview mirror now. I'm drinking water, everybody.
As long as you made the most of those fun days.
They tell me I had a good time, Sarah. They tell me I had a good time.
Love to
I did. I did. Okay. Let's get this over with then. So, kill the octopus, marry the catfish, and I'm with you, Civ. I'm fucking the Rats. How about that?
Wow, an exclusive on the Too Many Men.
Sarah, you had a question you wanted to ask Jeff when we were talking about what did we want to learn from Jeff while he was here?
Oh no.
You had a question for him. Yeah.
I was wondering when you started getting into women's hockey and then what the process has been like, because I know you've had a few scoops and you've been like very involved in the reporting. So I kind of wanted to know the evolution of that from your own.
I'm a firm believer in a few things, that the hockey world is better the more people that play it, whether it be male, female, animal, vegetable, whatever. Like the tent is big and it benefits everybody if more people play. And this is what I keep telling like my guy friends that don't like women's hockey. It's like, you understand that if more women play, this is better for you because there will be more opportunities. There will be more rinks. Equipment manufacturers will do well. Trainers will do that much better. The industry as a whole will be healthier. Like, you don't have to like it, but please understand that it's really important for the vibration and the health of the industry that more women. I mean, this is the growth area of hockey here. Like, this is the one area where hockey is growing and developing. And the other thing that I've always wondered about is, I don't know how good women are. Nobody does. Nobody knows how good a woman can be at hockey until she's able to play it without the same hurdles and without the same roadblocks that men enjoy. I think Marie-Philippe Poulin is the best
GOAT.
The best. Like seriously, like whenever she's the most clutch player that ever clutched in the history of hockey clutch. Like, and again, like, you can say all you want about your Jean Beliveaux and your Bobby Orrs, and those were, wonderful hockey players, and they certainly had their clutch moments. No one like Marie-Philippe Poulin. Like, not even close. So I'm curious to see how good women can be, because we don't know. I don't know. And that to me is really exciting. And and this one I got to try not to get like all sappy on you and emotional, but this one is a big one for me. So I grew up wanting to play in the NHL. Like, when I was a kid, all I could think about was when I grew up, I want to play in the NHL, and I had that dream as a little boy. Now, I never made it to the NHL, but for a lot of years, that dream was something that was really precious to me. That dream, every time I played hockey, either in the backyard or in the driveway or on the rink or an organized game or just with my buddies, I was imagining that one day I had the chance to play professional hockey. I had a chance to play in the NHL. That was really important to me. And I wasn't the only person that felt that way. Most of my, guys that I hung out with, we all had the exact same dream, and it was beautiful. It's a beautiful sports dream to have. And I don't think that little boys are the only ones that should have that dream. I think that that dream is such a beautiful thing to have. And I always, I still look back. I was looking at old, hang on a second.
We love
Look at old photo albums. So I'm sorry. Listen, I'm sorry. I'm supposed to be a professional. I was looking at old photo albums. I was looking at old photo albums the other day of like, guys, like I used to cut pictures out of the newspapers and like, okay, this is going to be me one day. And I was like Mike Palmateer making saves. I was a goaltender and I wanted to be Mike Palmateer. And I had that. And like, look, man, like I had, my mom passed away when I was pretty young, and hockey was my thing. Like hockey, and mom and dad taking me to tournaments. And that was the one thing that kind of kept me grounded and was really special in my life. And the idea of playing in the NHL or playing pro hockey to me got me through a lot of stuff. I don't think that should just be for little boys. I think that girls should have that should have the potential to have the exact same dream that I had. And the fact that hasn't happened is really wrong. So anything that I can do from my little corner to help that along, I think is a really good thing. And I wish more people would do the same. And when I took the gig this year, the gig on Hockey Night, one of the things, one of the things that I asked about and one of the things that I insisted on was I want to cover women's hockey. And whenever we do any women's hockey on Sportsnet, I always put my hand up to do it. Like I always want to be involved. And it's not okay. So I told him like I wanted to do women's hockey because there isn't that role anywhere in mainstream media, certainly not a Hockey Night in Canada. And I wanted women's hockey news right beside men's hockey news. I think that that's the way it needs to be seen. And whenever we do any women's games on Sportsnet, and we do a lot of PWHPA showcases, I always put my hand up to do it. I don't care what the role is. I'll do rinkside. I'll do hosting. I'll do anything to be part of that. And one of the reasons I want to do that is not for girls, but it's for little boys. It's for my sons, because I want them to see a man covering the women's game the exact same way and with the same seriousness that they cover a man's game or the NHL. I want them to see that on that exact same level. So it's not just I want to do this for girls, although I do think that, as I just mentioned, I think it's really important that little girls have that hockey dream. I also want young boys to be able to see a grown, alleged professional broadcaster approaching the women's game the exact same way, with the same tone, the same seriousness, the same research, the same everything as he does the NHL. That's been my experience. And as you can tell, this one's kind of close to my heart.
And it's a Canadian talking about things in the PHF, which I think is super important because it's always been a storyline. The two different.
Wait, Jeff is Canadian?
From Canuckistan. I know, I'm from Canuckistan up here.
Yeah, and his team won this year and everything. He got dill pickle chips out of me for it and everything. I'll
tell you what, I cherished my texts during the Olympics with Shayna like no other, and I held them sacred like a newborn child. It was wonderful. Every time Canada would score, I mean, I would pause for a little bit to see if she was going to text me first, or if I would kind of, do the cocky Canadian guy thing and text her right away. But she was a good sport. She put on a brave face, and she sent me the dill pickle chips, which were delicious, by the way, Shayna. Thank you. We bet in chips, folks.
Jeff, are you a pickle fan?
Love pickles.
I'm drinking a pickle flavored beer.
Pickle. There is such a thing as pickle flavored beer.
There's pickles.
There it is.
Spiked seltzer now.
Oh my god, that might be a little too much.
I feel like that one, like it needs like maybe cucumber with it. I don't know, something to balance it.
Are you feeling that the pickle there is too smug? It's like, how much more pickle could I be? There's the smuggest pickle environment right there, Shannon. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Well, Jeff, we like to be a little irreverent. You may know that about the three of us here. A little bit. So we're going to ask you something we talked about earlier in this broadcast. What is the narrative you're most sick of? Did you already talk about this?
I texted him the other day, and I'm like,
what's your answer?
What's the narrative you like
from this
and
final?
You hate?
The one that I hate. That is a really good question. So normally in situations like this, I just start talking, which is really just me filibustering to try to figure out what my real answer would be. You know what I don't like? I don't like the idea that, Tampa really hasn't won a Stanley Cup yet. Because I would make the argument that the bubble environment, look, Matt Niskanen hated it so much, he never played hockey again. That was a terrible environment. You may make the argument that might have been the toughest Stanley Cup to win. And then last year, okay, well, it's half a season, it's a COVID Cup, and I remember all the New Jersey Devils fans got that from Rangers fans. Oh yeah, we won a real Stanley Cup last year. You guys just won half a cup after the lockout. That was another challenging one. I think. And this idea that, okay, now they're going, with this team for their first legitimate Stanley Cup or their first real Stanley Cup. The two other ones were just, they're not really true Stanley Cup victories. That's the one that I can toss that one out because, specifically the first one where none of us had any clue where this thing was headed and how we were all supposed to behave and what the rules were. And all of a sudden, these guys are all in a bubble and half of them want to quit and half of them, they don't, literally check out, but they check out on the games and they're done. Holding a team together through that environment, that might, if they win this year, to me, the most impressive cup that Tampa's won on this run is the first one in the bubble. That's, I think that's probably been the toughest. Just mentally.
I know, I completely agree. I feel like people don't talk about that enough. And then it's the added threat of, COVID was still so new and you never knew if you were going to get it. And then you're constantly stressing over that and being the one, that's got to do a number on you mentally. If you're the one to get COVID and ruin everybody's time or whatever it is, or get actually sick. Imagine that. That was a really tough thing. I remember Tuukka Rask left and he wasn't the only one who seriously thought about it.
Yeah, no, I think there were a lot like Matt, listen, listen, you know what's a good point, Sarah, because the effects of someone like Matt Niskanen leaving, that still affects the Philadelphia Flyers to this day. Ivan Provorov has not been anywhere close to the same player since Matt Niskanen left. Now,
coaching definitely influences that.
You think coaching was part of that one too, Shannon?
I mean, Alain Vigneault did a bang up job there, but
what's that?
Enter Torts.
Yeah,
I like Torts.
Yeah, come on now.
I like Torts a lot. I really do.
Jeff even got him on his show without having to talk about animals. I'm mad now.
And I would have
calling in a favor.
I would have honestly, honestly, Allison, I just would have bored him with stories about my German Shepherd. He'd have preferred that probably, to be honest with you. Yeah, to me, asking goofy questions about how he's the new age version of Fred Shero from 74, 75. Be more pretentious, Merrick. Try to be more hockey hipster, Merrick. John, you remind me of Fred Shero, and here's why. Let's go back and talk about Anatoly Tarasov. And
he rolled with Soviet it. He played along with you.
He was really good. I got a lot of time. I got a lot of time for John Tortorella. I remember the first time I met him. We were talking about, I remember I brought up the point with him. I said, the one refreshing thing about you is you're not shy about blasting a goaltender after the game. He was one of the first guys to come out and say our goalie stunk, essentially, because they're always sort of considered these, precious little, artifacts that you don't go near, you don't even breathe towards them. And John was always, and we said to him, look, they're part of the team, just like a defenseman's part of the team, or a left winger, or a right winger, or a center, anyone's part of the team. If I'm going to scrutinize them, I'll scrutinize the goaltender as well, which was a breath of fresh air. And he was I was a big fan of the Jim Collins book, Good is the Enemy of Great. We had a sort of common conversation about that too. I just find him to be one of the more intriguing coaches in the history of the game, who has both one foot in the old school, and Allison, as you know, from covering him with the Blue Jackets, 1 foot in the new school as well.
He'll give me shit about the analytic, but he'll listen to him. There's only one. There was only ever one. The analytics says, John, there's multiple analytics.
The analytics says from the man who tracks scoring chances.
That's right. Exactly.
What happened with you guys? Wasn't there that big thing that happened on social media? You weren't there. Excuse me. Sorry.
Hey, Cameo.
You didn't make it to the press conference in time, and Torts was where's Allison with the stats?
I love him. I love him.
Yeah. Do you have a good time covering him? I mean, it's exciting when
blast.
he's the coach. I mean, I'll take that anytime over all the answers are in that team, play our game, establish the forecheck, fulls, like all that.
Play hard, get pucks deep. No, I mean he's not going to suffer fools. This is what I said. Like if you ask a dumb question or if you're not prepared, he has no time for you whatsoever. He's over it, which I respect.
It's kind of like Rod Brindamore, Jeff. I know you had him on your show too.
Yeah, like
isn't he the best? He's just
Rod's great. I remember, man, I brought up, Sarah, this would have been a couple of years ago. I think Elliot and I had him on, I can't remember, like one of the mini shows I've done over the past few years, talking to Rod, and I was bringing up some point about Sebastian Aho sort of evolving towards being a safer player. Because I had talked to someone within the organization who was bringing up that point, and I said, talking to people around your team, this is the kind of vibe about Aho. And he paused, and I can tell he was trying to give the question a softer landing than it deserved. And then Sarah, he just kind of said, yeah, I guess that's one way of looking at Aho, but I don't personally look at him that way at all. But at least I appreciated the pause. Like I appreciated like at least that thought attempt to like not completely roast the question or roast the person who had mentioned that to me. So I appreciated that. Like you're blessed to cover a guy like that whose default is I feel compelled to tell you the truth. It's like he's like the Wonder Woman of coaches. Like I have to tell you the truth here. I've got the magic lasso and all.
We're being tracked here because we have all been at various times taking glasses on and off, and we finally all four of us at the same time have our glasses on. So we'll consider that a success.
The game is on. I have to see both now.
The game is on. Jeff, do you have to go?
I got a couple of minutes. You can hit me with some more stuff if you want. Or unless I've bored your audience like sufficiently, like seriously.
No. Go.
I can't be consistently interesting for more than one intermission.
What do you think of rotating goalies multiple times?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, come on. Of all people to appreciate it, this is now a thing. And you two have turned on me. So now I have to ask
him, first of all, how you would say what you would say to the goaltenders when you were making these changes. Exactly like you said it.
I said initially that if I put Darcy Kuemper in net, I would have him on a short leash. But I also added, and I was joking around being like, go sit, refresh, like reset for a second, let play go on, and then put him back. I would not seriously say to him like, hey, Darcy, get your ass over here and get the fuck off the ice. Like that would be rude. I'd be thrown out. I would actually fit into the NHL perfectly if I did that. Let's be real. But no, if you just, instead of taking a timeout, just were like, hey, you have to come out of play for a second, reset, and then put him back in a couple minutes later if play settles down. Like, do we not? Oh, yeah, everyone has to drink. I said fuck, and now you have to twice.
Mike Keenan used to do that. Mike Keenan used to do that.
That's a bad example. I don't want to be like Mike Keenan.
Sorry, but I mean, Keenan would hook goaltenders. They'd sit for a couple of minutes. Maybe he'd give them a bark, and then he'd send them back in. I think that, I mean, it doesn't happen now, and I think that's for a number of reasons. I don't think goaltenders, like, I think it's a really good idea, but I don't think that good idea can start at the NHL level. Like, I think goaltenders need to be conditioned all the way up that this is a thing that's now part of your profession. Like, if you grow up playing youth hockey with, wherever, let's just take like the CompuWare, Little Caesars, one of the powerhouses, and you're used to like being in and out depending on how you're playing and you need a little refresh or a little mental reset or whatever, then by the time you get to pro or you get to playing college hockey, it's no longer a thing. But for the longest time, we've just had goaltenders have to play the full game unless they're going to get the hook, and then they're going to sit there for the rest of the game because, to the previous point, they are precious, and they're sacred little dolls here that we don't want to damage in any way, shape, or form. So we're very sensitive about them psychologically.
So what you're saying is I think it's
a good idea. I think we do. I don't think that can just happen at the NHL level.
Well, that's fair.
It's a real shock. I think that should trickle down to the youth hockey, as we call it up here in Kazakhstan, minor hockey levels.
So you're not throwing my idea out, though.
No,
you're open to my idea. See,
I like it. Honestly, I like the idea.
2v2.
I like the idea. I do. Allison, you're not picking up what Shannon's putting down?
No. I like it. But let me say, she was much more harsh in her initial delivery of the message to the goaltenders as she swapped.
I was fired up. I was ready to play for her.
Yeah, there you go, Sarah, the coach. You already said
put me in.
You already said you'd be too mean of a head coach. We're going to be the meanest bench around. We're going to be like Mike Keenan 2.0.
You know what I think? You know what I always wondered? I always wondered if there were, because I think Matthew Garon may have been the best. Speaking of Columbus, Allison, I think Matthew Garon was either one of or the best shootout goalie the NHL has seen. Like, I've always wondered, if I talk about, oh, you know, have a couple of specialists on the bench, a 3-on-3 specialist, a shootout specialist. I always wondered about having like a shootout goalie specialist.
Now that is sweet. I love this.
That's on the bench. That, you know what? You're just not good at breakaways, guy. Like, sorry, I know you just played the 60 and the overtime, but this really isn't your thing at all. We're going to the bullpen, going to the lefty. Okay, let's bring Matthew Garon.
Can you imagine, like, Robin Leonard, right? He was the one that was like bad at shootouts this year. Like, imagine of all
Logan Thompson was great.
Yeah, I love the creativity here. Yes.
Well, hey, maybe Ottawa with their 3 goaltenders next season. Maybe we can see some fun rotation.
Yeah. Yes, to your point here, I had an NHL goalie tell me a few weeks ago he thinks goalies are getting hurt more than ever and thinks that there needs to be a 3 goalie rotation on every team, and then he wants to like lobby for that. I'm like, I could see that. I think that's really, obviously that has certain implications, especially during practice where there's only 2 nets, but is it that hard to like?
There's going to be a third net in the neutral zone. It's going to be Darcy Kemper. It's going to be Francouz, and then it's going to be the E-Bug prepping for the next game.
You know, a lot of the goalies that I should.
Avs goal, power play.
Who got it? See, I'm downstairs where we do the podcast. I don't even have a screen in front of me. Who got it?
I thought you had a TV in the basement. I thought
Elliot always roasts me about this. I don't have a TV in the basement where we do the podcast. I got it up in my office.
You gotta upgrade your podcast cave.
What I've got here is I like to refer to as an onion wallet, Sarah. Every time I open it, I start to cry. So I just got to get off my wallet here if I get another TV in the basement.
Oh, you need to tell Sportsnet to give it to you. And
I know.
And that's Nathan McKinnon, by the way.
Pull some money off the tree, Shayna. It's the Get America TV in his basement fund. Oh, I know. Elliot always goes on.
Off McKinnon's skate. Look at this.
Maybe it'll get him going. I need a few more goals out of him this series. I'll tell you what. Even though that's not really like the main event of McKinnon, but I love when he scores. It's just like so exciting to me. He's such a like powerful skater. When he charges to the net, he's
a rhino.
I get fired up. Yeah,
he's angry. Like
he skates like he's angry at the ice, as Jeff Merrick likes to say.
Yeah, like he's angry. Like he's pissed off at the ice. Like that's how
he's pissed off because he has no carbs. Wouldn't you be?
Suddenly it all makes sense.
Yeah, I get it. We all missed it. Well, listen, you know what's interesting about like, I think you can right now. Okay, let's say this series ended right now. Colorado wins the Stanley Cup. Who are you giving the Conn Smythe Trophy to?
Cale Makar.
Good consensus, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think you can make a case, albeit maybe in a minor key. I think you can make a case for Gabriel Landeskog.
I would make a case for Val Nichushkin over him.
I know you love your Val Nichushkins, and I get all that. But you know, the thing about Gabriel Landeskog. And again, it's obvious tonight as Landeskog, goes in on Kadri's line and takes all the faceoffs for him. Ever notice that Gabriel Landeskog always goes on the line that needs help? He's that guy that, okay, the line needs help. Okay, put Landeskog on it. He's like the solution. He's the fixer.
And
right?
He is currently getting credited with the goal. FYI.
Oh, wow.
Shayna, there's your Nichushkin. You're a Nichushkin to my, what is that, 12 for Landeskog now?
12. 12. Yep. 12 goals.
Come on.
We'll just tell Val that you hate him. We'll let it be known this summer. You're going to be like, I want him on the podcast, on the audio show to talk about your next contract. And he's going to be like, no, fuck that guy.
Screw that guy.
Sorry. See, now you have to
too much about Landeskog. I think, honestly, I just think that Landeskog might be my favorite player in the NHL. And any chance I get to talk about him, I do it. As forced as it may be, as I just jammed him into this conversation. Apologies.
Well, Jeff, we appreciate you coming on. We kept you way longer than we said we would, but
no problem.
You have been such a great friend and ally to all of us. We appreciate you.
I love all 3 of you. You're beautiful people, and I adore all of you. And I'm so happy that this is such a success. And I'm like, I just want to stand back and watch you guys rise. And like, this is like, I don't think you understand like how cool this is, because it really is. And you guys have a great vibe about it too. I do want to know. So I know what Siv's got in her cup. Sarah, you're drinking the pickle beer. That's all good. Allison, what do you have?
I have a vodka seltzer beverage.
A vodka. Is that your go-to?
Today it is.
All right.
Yes.
What's your default?
Mine?
Tonight, Shayna?
Oh,
no,
Shayna. Yeah,
Shayna.
go.
What's your default?
I have
Shayna?
the drink of the summer. I have vodka, seltzer, lemonade, and frozen raspberries, so it stays colder longer.
Okay, well,
summer TM.
I will sign off by thanking you for having me on. I apologize; it can only be for a little bit, but that's as long as I can be entertaining. I've
we'll have you back.
Like that's it for me. Listen, thanks. So happy at all of your successes. I'm probably beg each and every one of you for a job one day. So anything I can do to help you, please consider me an ally. And as you continue to drink and watch hockey, please make good choices.
We're all home for the night. We're all home for the night.
All three of you make good choices.
Try my best.
Absolutely.
Peace to all three of you. Love you.
We appreciate you, Jeff. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank
Bye, guys.
you.
Bye. Well, that was awesome, guys. That was really,
we need
really
a
cool.
trivia now.
Shit. One. Okay, here's the trivia.
We've got you cursing.
We make these rules and we're so bad at following.
This is what happens. God damn it. Okay. Trivia. Okay. All right. So the score is 1-1. Here's what we're going to do. Okay. Right now, there have already been 2 penalties. One is underway right now in the game. There have been 2 penalties in period number 2. We're going to give you those 2. The question is, how many penalties total will occur in period 2? How many penalties total will occur in period 2? Tweet your answers with hashtag TMM
and
trivia.
Include the 2 that happened.
Yes. So it's 2 plus, or it's 2. But yes, 2 is part of your total. And again, you can tweet us at 2_much_man. Tweet us to get your bid counted to possibly win a piece of Too Many Men drinkware. We love it. We are doing 1 trivia a period. There will be 1 winner per period or no winners. They do not roll over, friends. We only have so much money. But again,
buy a ton of merch and we'll have more money.
There you go. Super shout out to Jeff Merrick. He's one of our favorites. He has just been huge to all of us in many different ways, both behind the scenes and on the scenes. And we just can't thank him enough. Hopefully you all enjoyed some of his wisdom and check out his shows and his work on Sportsnet and the Jeff Merrick Show and the 32 Thoughts podcast. But here we are. We are now back on Tampa Bay is on the power play here. It's going to be interesting. There were people in the chat commenting, and I don't know that they're wrong, that, this is how it works sometimes, right? Is that Colorado gets a goal, not necessarily directly off that play on the power play, but because they came out with a strong push to start the second, right? And so now the question is, what does Tampa Bay do? And here we are on a power play, and Darcy Kemper is going to be tested a little bit, but can Colorado keep the score even? Does Tampa wake up? Shayna, have you seen anything early here? We're not even halfway through this period, but what are you seeing from both teams given that Colorado was able to come back and tie it up?
So if you look in all situations, Colorado does have the shot attempt advantage. It was 13-6 as of, I would guess, like a minute and a half ago. Is that like the data delay? Who's to say? Not me.
But you just did.
Yeah. I mean, look, you're going to look at this and go, wow, the shots are so slanted in the first period. And I find that super interesting. I feel like Tampa Bay had to come out this way because we saw how Colorado ended the third last game. Like, they were so good and it was goaltending making the difference. So I feel like Tampa had to respond this way. Now it's just a matter of how Colorado reacts to it. And I thought they did a really good job penalty killing there. Like we talked about it before, that penalty kill has been so important for them. And Tampa's power play that was so elite in their last 2 playoff runs doesn't look as sharp this round.
Yes. Sarah, what's standing out to you from play early here?
I mean, the narrative that special teams are so important in the postseason is just actually so true. That's just what I'm thinking about, because when you think about this series, it has been so heavy on the special teams, for better or for worse.
And yet it's so interesting. Everyone's like, Colorado doesn't have an even strength goal. But like, if you can score on the power play, you're making
And you gotta, like, it's actually, Tampa Bay hasn't got scored on at 5-on-5 at home since the Leafs. So
Well, thank
pour
God.
one out, pour one in. And
I'm so thankful that you were able to make this about the Leafs, Sarah. It would not be.
It's always.
I had, for the first time in my life, a nice Leafs fans in my Twitter mentions today.
What?
They were like, I love listening to you on your podcast, but I disagree with all of your takes. I was like, I'll take it. Like,
That's kind of a very civil way to say it. Like, I respect it. Like,
yeah, I miss being able to just disagree and still like each other. So,
Absolutely.
When it comes to sports.
Oh, wait, who was that? Who just cracked one?
Everett, and it was a Gatorade.
Okay. Oh, that's not fun. Okay. All right. Ooh, big hit. This is going to be interesting. Ooh, I just heard the contented sigh after the first sip too.
Everett, I just heard you go. He's such a dad. Like.
Now, here's what's interesting, Shayna. I'm pulling up to, again, in game, getting a lot of information from naturalstattrick.com. The Avs are owning, this is 5-on-5 play only. The Avs are owning the shot volume battle with over 60% of all pucks fired at the net coming off the Avs sticks. But the shot quality is still, for all intents and purposes, pretty even. So Tampa Bay continues to get more per shot in terms of quality than Colorado is. Is this a concerning point? Is this something that you think doesn't matter if Colorado can keep the volume up? What's your take, Shayna?
I mean, we saw this with the Blues against the Avs. Like, there were a couple games there that, like, they actually managed to keep Colorado outside of the quality areas. And I think that's something that, Victor Hedman, how are you doing? I mean, can we talk for a second about Victor Hedman being one of the worst players on the ice in game one, which is something literally no one would have seen coming.
It's 2-1 Tampa Bay, to be clear. Yes.
Yes.
Well, I'm kind of behind, but now I'm going to get a first.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
No, it's a good look. Okay. Look at that zone entry. Oh, my God.
Oh, Sarah, that
Cal.
one so hard. Hey, now.
So good.
Woo.
That's all it takes is that one play.
Look at that. I love a good backhand shot. I'm such a fan of a backhand shot for no intelligent reason. I just love a backhand. I don't know why.
I love a backhand too, because it's like, it seems satisfying to do, right?
Yeah,
if you were the one doing it.
And to keep control, I mean, that puck was wobbling, but to keep control of the puck off the back of the curve, depending on what you have on your stick, is an extra degree of difficulty that I appreciate for me.
I'm like watching this play. Damn, he just said goodbye. Like, it's gonna, what was that? 3 defensemen he went through.
It's crazy. Wow.
Was that a bad goal for Kemper? I don't think so. I think that was
I don't know. I think it was a good shot from Hedman. I think it was a good zone entry. Like, maybe don't let him walk right in and hop up.
It was a bad defense look. Which is this Kona or is it?
This is Kona.
Okay.
You can tell by the ears. Okay. You can tell by the ears.
They make the funniest noises ever. These dogs.
They just
if you ever hear them on the pod, they're sometimes there. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll snore. She snores in the background. She'll like come right up to me.
Yeah. Shout out here to Liam, who's making the point you just did, Sarah, which is that Colorado really gave him the shot. Yeah. There wasn't a lot of challenge there, which is a credit not just to the player, but a diss on the defense there. It's not a great look.
And that's another thing too, when we ask ourselves sometimes, is it like a lot of times after a game, one beat writer on one team will write, this was the best game they've ever played. And then the other beat reporter on the other team will say, this is the worst game this team has ever played. So it's like, I do think there's so much more nuance than the narrative sometimes. Yes, he walked them.
No, there is no nuance.
No. Kona won't stand for it.
Fight the power. Fight the power. No, and it's true. And, it's frustrating too, like, because there's a game, but then there's these individual plays. And a player can have a great game and then a shit play, right? Yeah. And it's so interesting to me now, being with a West Coast team. It really, I'm just going to go here, people. It is true that the East Coast bias
Toronto
exists.
Maple Leafs. Oh, sorry. Close enough.
No, because if all you do is look at the score line, which, listen, I used to do it a lot when I was on the East for sure. But if you're following the league, I mean, even just watch the quick little, 3-5 minute recap that the NHL puts up, because the stories of the game aren't necessarily told in just the box score and in just the stat line.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to watch. Let me go
right?
find Rangoon. Hold on.
Oh, yeah. But Rangoon is being requested. So Sarah is on the hunt for Rangoon.
I know. I asked Rich, and he just walked in with Kona in his arms, like, here you go.
Oh, here we go.
And she'll just chill until she quits.
She's our little sweetie. Look at her.
If it were Zook, she'd be like freaking out right now, throwing her paws around, being like, I'm done. Get me out of here.
All right. Now we've got a Tampa Bay lead. So that does somewhat answer our question. Oh, and Shayna, you were talking about Hedman. Was there more you wanted to say after
No, I'm wrong about the score. I'm wrong about this series. Kona picked Colorado in her original bracket. Let's talk about this. My dogs are better at predicting games than me. Zook had St. Louis winning the year they won. So, big ups to her. The year before she had Calgary, who got their asses kicked. But Kona this year had Colorado over Pittsburgh. And then after round 2, I let her do her picks again, because she didn't watch all the games. And she went with Edmonton and Colorado for the West, and then got the East completely wrong. And Zook had the Rangers and Tampa on, in the East, and I think she had Colorado and Calgary. So she was like, 3 out of 4. But Kona says Colorado's going to win the series. She was not asked to select how many games it would take, so I could not answer that properly, and that's why I was actually incorrect, potentially incorrect. But on Victor Hedman, do you have any thoughts?
Steven Stamkos is back in the box, by the way, just keeping us up to speed here. Colorado back on the power play. So, and again, to reiterate, our trivia question of this period is how many penalties total will there be in period 2? Send your guess to us via Twitter at 2_much_man with the hashtag TMM trivia. And yes, offsetting penalties count. It's a total count of penalties assessed per NHL game record. Go ahead, Shayna. Sorry.
I don't remember. Oh, just Victor Hedman's still the best defenseman in the league. Like, I think the all-around defenseman this year, I do think it was him and Makar neck and neck for a while for the Norris. Hot take over Yossi, sure, but like I would have had, if I voted, my final 3 would have been Makar, Hedman, and then McAvoy, and you can make the argument, I think, for that like 2 and 3 order, but it's the narrative of this series, since we're talking narratives, has been, the best defenseman of the season in Cale Makar versus the best defenseman in the league when you look at the last few years, and I think that's still like absolutely true. But it's nice to see him rebound, because I was disappointed. I'm sure he was even more disappointed in, his game 1 and his game 2. But it's good to see like someone you expect to be one of the best in the league play like it, right, Cone?
Yeah.
Sarah, what was your Norris vote? Are you willing to share?
Yeah. No, I'm gonna keep
it's only public, it's already printed and out there. But what tell the people, tell us what your Norris vote was.
I did Yossi, Makar, Hedman, and then McAvoy, Slavin. And I think
you picked Yossi over Makar. Tell us why.
I did. I don't want it to be like, I don't know. I was questioning it myself, thinking, oh, did somebody score?
Nothing. No, I just,
okay.
Good scoring chance. Sorry.
Yeah, good chance. Good scoring chance up in here. I didn't want to overvalue points, but I do think in the way that I voted for Shesterkin for Hart, I kind of voted for Yossi for Norris. Like, he carried that team, like, especially without Saros for a while there. And I think that he did have the most points of a defenseman since, 96 or 93. So I do take that a little bit into consideration. I think Makar is the best of the best right now, but I think Yossi had the best season standalone, like in a vacuum, which is how I did it.
Perfect.
It was one of the hardest. I think it was the hardest one to do for me, because it could have been Makar. And I always vote for Hedman. Like we're spoiled by him.
Absolutely. It goes back to the point we were talking about of this team. If they can pull off a three-peat, I mean, these are some iconic performances from some of the. It is a bummer points hurt because I love his game so much, and like he has been such a part of this core, in my opinion. Like, I'm sure he's not happy either. To go back to the point, he's I'm not
thrilled.
Happy. He's not happy. Yeah. Exactly.
A Canes healthy scratch came up to me during the game. I think it was game 7, and he was just like, can't effing do this. I'm like, what? He's like, I'm just so nervous. Like, they hate.
Oh, they hate. Playing. Yes, they hate not playing. And players will say that all the time. Like, they can be playing in the biggest high pressure situations on the ice, and they can go. But if they have to sit and watch, they're miserable, and not just because they're not, actively playing the game and doing their job, but just because like they can't handle the stress and not being invested in what's happening.
That's why I never made it, because I would have just been like so relieved to not have to play. I'd be like, love to take a paycheck and be a part of something prestige and go to all the parties. But like, I freak out about actually playing. I was the captain of my high school swim team, and I got to regionals, and I was in like a relay, and I had a panic attack because my coach was like, this is the most important meet you've ever swam in and will ever swim in. And then when it was time to dive, I literally forgot how to swim. And I will never forget like coming up for air and choking, and everyone's looking at me and I'm looking at everyone else. And they're like, swim. I'm like, I can't. I was disqualified.
Sarah, now how many captain
behavior?
You've been the captain of your swim team, but you've been the captain of your lacrosse team. How many other times have you been a captain?
That's it. And I was good at lacrosse. I was on varsity from a young age. I almost played club in college, but I was only the captain because the other captain got arrested for underage drinking at a Rascal Flatts concert. So that was like
a full concert. It was a Rascal Flatts concert.
All right, here's a question from the chat while we're in a commercial break. This comes to us from Cody C. And Sarah, we'll go back to you first here. Who is your favorite player to watch or talk to from the team that you cover?
Ooh, good question. Talk to, I mean, Justin Williams back in the day, like 2 years ago, was the absolute best guy to interview. It was more than like, he got it that it was about more than just the interview and like pucks in net or whatever. He expected you to come through with a good question. And if you didn't, he'd give you a look and be like, I'm not answering that. And it made me really better as a reporter. I think it was like my first years starting out. He was the captain of the team. So I learned a lot. I remember thinking that I made him mad, and he wasn't mad. He was just like, I'd never had a hockey player not respond to me like in a pucks in deep way. So I just like had a lot to think about, and he helped me kind of shape my questions. But to watch, I like to watch Andrei Svechnikov. He always has something up his sleeve, but Jacob Slavin is he's one of those players he's not showing up on the score sheet, but he does these insane things without taking a penalty. It's crazy.
Shayna, favorite player to watch and favorite player to talk to, and favorite dog snort.
Yeah, she's snoring already. No, Kona just snored. She's laying down like in my lap.
She snored.
Favorite player to watch. I mean, so from, I guess to like make it easier, like from the Rangers, it's Adam Fox. I like, I think Artemi Panarin's incredible, and Chris Kreider and Mika Zibanejad. But Adam Fox, I love how subtle some of the big plays are, the defensive plays, the little things, the poise at the blue line. It's things like that just stand out to me. And then from the Devils, could be Bratt, but it might be Jack Hughes. I mean, his season this year was incredible, and to watch him every time he was on the ice, like, just amazing in my opinion. So yeah.
Okay. I think my favorite player to watch in Columbus, I mean, when Artemi Panarin was there, that was a delight. But I also really liked watching Zach Werenski play, particularly because he came in so young, and to watch where he started and now what his game has become. For the Kraken, Yanni Gourde, all day, every day. Such a fun player to watch.
Love him.
And then player to talk to, I'm gonna do a throwback like Sarah did. Going back, Scott Hartnell will tell it like it is. And just like you said, Sarah, for him, if you have a smart question, if you have genuine interest in a topic, he's going to give you a great answer and really talk through things with you to help you understand. And he's such a great balance of thinking the game and also just being that gritty, heart and soul player that plays in such a fun way. It would definitely be Scott Hartnell. And I think later than that, you know, Josh Anderson always gave me really good answers. And Yanni Gourde does too. Yanni Gourde is, we wrote a great story at the end of the season about a board game that the team played, and Yanni Gourde, it could have been this really dry story about, oh yeah, this is the game we play and this is what happens. And he turned the whole thing into this amazing, like fun, like chirp fest. And we started interviewing other players and they were ranking each other about who was bad and who was good. It was hilarious. So those would be my picks. Would be my picks. All right. We're still 2-1, just under 5 minutes to go in period 2. Let's take a check here. We're at 3 penalties so far in period 2 in terms of our trivia. We'll get those bids in as long as people want.
We have injuries too. We have Chernak. He blocked, I think, McKinnon shot, and he went to the bench, locker room, came back, and then he went back. I think they also changed Landeskog's goal to McKinnon.
They did. You are correct.
Yeah. And speaking of penalties, that last power play, he looked fantastic on, just skating around the ice with control. So nice to see. And looks like Colorado, like we were talking before, like, you know, shots slanting, definitely slanting in their favor. Last I checked, it was 13-5 shots on goal in all situations. So, and then attempts were 24-11. So either way, you see that slant.
In period 2, you're saying?
Yeah, sorry. You see the slant in shot attempts, unlike period 1. You actually see that difference between teams, and this time it's Colorado at the edge, and now the shot attempts like are also reflecting that slant instead of just the shot attempts being even and the shots on goal not.
Yep, for sure. And to drive that home, we've got the Avs with just under 70% of all shot attempts at even strength and 53%, almost 54% of the shot quality. Now, what's interesting, and someone in the chat said this earlier, it's not really been like a banner game for goaltending, but it hasn't been terrible either. But if we go to the site moneypuck.com, which is a favorite of mine, and we look at their expected goal model, they have the goals should be at just under 2 for the Avs and 2.5 for Tampa. So right now, Vasilevsky with the slight edge, but not a huge edge like we're used to seeing. And Kemper is not drastically behind where his team should have him be right now. Thoughts on goaltending, Sarah?
Yeah, I don't.
Go Sarah, don't go me. Don't trust me with this answer.
Shayna would have already pulled him and put him back in twice.
I didn't blame him for the first goal again. I would have said shake it off. I would have from the bench. I would have been like, "You're good."
Okay, we got the thumbs up.
2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up. A gesture reserved for the dumbest of drivers. Like, instead of like flipping them off and getting mad, that's when you hit them. Yeah. And if they're really dumb, you're just like, hey, you fuck. And yeah, you guys have to drink. And you just hit them with it and maybe like crack a smile. And the best of them, they look at you like, what the hell?
Yeah. Shayna, you didn't drink.
I was expecting a long night after that first goal, not just because I don't think it was really on him, obviously the helmet issues and stuff, but I think that it happened 36 seconds into the game. So it's like that could really mess with your morale. But they're both in this game. Like, both teams are very much in this game right now. It's one of the closest games other than, I don't know, what was it? Game one? Yeah. Game 1 was,
Which even was lopsided, then the gap was closed.
Did you see that shift time that they just, if you're watching ESPN, they just had shift time for the skaters up. Josh Manson was at over 2 minutes and 20 seconds. On that shift. That's
call
ridiculous.
Him Charles, because he's hungry for humans. Sorry. I've been waiting to drop the Josh Manson joke.
Some of these shift times are just, it's, and this is the danger of period 2, right? The long change. You can get stuck out there for so much longer than you want to.
Oh no, Cirelli.
Oh, here we go. Cirelli's down.
Going to the room.
Oh,
so
Lord.
Here he is getting that matchup against McKinnon.
Huge part of the game. Yep.
Yeah, and shot attempts are even in those minutes, and scoring chances and expected goals. The edge goes to Tampa Bay in those minutes, which is really important. Yeah, that's tough. That's
not good.
No. Like we talk about the Ryan O'Reilly matchup with McKinnon, he actually managed. He's
grabbing his upper. Oh,
yeah, no, that's not good. That's a huge loss.
And particularly when he knows, like when a skater gets up and off that quickly, they know something's really not great.
Did he get cut? Maybe
I don't think a skate got up there. And thanks, Rich. Shayna's Rich letting us know it ended at a shift of 2:53 for Manson. That's insane.
We also see his saltiness on Cirelli because Cirelli shut down Zibanejad so well.
Well, there you go.
No, look, the tweet Frank Saravalli just tweeted, it made it seem like a skate cut on his arm.
Oh, okay.
So that's now you're without Chernak, who's a part of your shutdown pair with Ryan McDonough, and a key right-handed defenseman too. Like pretty important. Their right side is not nearly as strong as their left. And now you have your best shutdown center who is containing McKinnon as well as I think you could hope if you're keeping him out of the quality areas. That's a massive loss. And now you're trying to defend a 1-goal lead. And we know it's Tampa Bay. Like if they have this lead, it's not that they go into a shell, but they do tighten it up defensively a bit and take fewer risks. So like that's 2 players that should be a key part of it.
Yeah, and I'm looking here too. We talk about Kadri coming back. I just wanted to check in on what he has been able to contribute, and he's one of the lowest ice times among Colorado forwards, 8:28 right now, with just 2 shot attempts, 1 miss, and 1 blocked. So, and he, I mean, obviously he's been away. His body has gone through a lot, but not necessarily the Kadri of yore, which we couldn't really expect after everything that went on.
Who's sitting for him?
Abe Kubel.
Okay. So it's not like he was gonna contribute that much because I don't know. I don't know. What do you think?
Big point here. I'm gonna switch on you real quick because I love this point. Where did it just go? Andrew Dunn shouting out in the chart 7 shots for McKinnon in this period. That's incredible.
Let's see one go in. Come on, Nate Dogg. I expect better of this man.
Well, here we are. We are at the end of the second period. Tampa Bay retains their lead. It is 2-1. Each team scoring 1 goal in the middle frame. Our trivia question was how many penalties would be called in period 2? And the final answer was 3. So Shayna will figure out if anyone actually ends up winning. We don't have a fuck, marry, kill for this intermission, but we should be having a guest. And Sarah, hopefully when they join us, you can make the intros for us here. Another special guest joining us to talk a little bit of puck. But thoughts on period 2 so far? Sarah, did you like what you saw? We obviously now are talking about some concerning injuries, but on a team level, did Colorado bounce back in a way that they can come back and win this game?
Yeah. It's going to be a fun third period. I feel like the tension was kind of rising here. I don't know. It wasn't the most eventful period, and that makes for a very eventful third. So I'm excited for the third. What are our thoughts here?
Yeah, I think they certainly didn't look caved in. And you made that point earlier, Sarah, was that the team, it doesn't look like this is going to be one of these landslide or dominating fails for either team. It's much more even play. But if Colorado can capitalize on some of the injuries, that's going to be significant.
Was
Shayna,
it 3 penalties?
It was 3 penalties.
Okay, please hold. We have numerous answers. Please hold.
Please hold. Please hold. Numerous answers coming in. But this is the kind of situation that Shayna was built for right here. She's checking. She's checking.
I'm going to put this into a generator.
Okay, here we go. Real time. We've got a bunch of people saying they said 3, so we know that there's some people who qualified. Oh, hey, here's a shout out. My producer from Root Sports, Scott Malone, Emmy-winning producer Scott Malone, has a fuck, marry, kill for us while we wait for Shayna to count. Sarah, are you ready to take on a fuck, marry, kill for us?
Yeah, let's go.
It is off-season edition. Fuck, marry, kill. Beach day, lake day, or river day?
Marry a beach day all day, every day. I grew up in Boston, so I always had a beach like 20 minutes away. It was a little Cape House situation, and that's always what I look for now. I love the nice little breeze. I am fucking a lake day because now that I date somebody from Michigan and I went to Torch Lake, that is like, you might as well be in the Dominican. It's like the clearest water I've ever seen in my life. There's a huge party in the lake, and I'm like, I feel like a pure Michigander now. So I got to say that I'm killing a river day. I've gotten lost in a river before, and it was not fun.
How did you get lost in a river?
It was like, the like lazy rivers.
Yeah.
You like get lost in those. Everett, what happened? Remember when we got lost in the lake or the river? Huh?
You had to walk through the sandbar.
Yeah, we had to walk through a sandbar, and we it ended up being some like upper class community that we walked into, and we're just like muddy with our bathing suits on, like save us. So
we have a winner.
All right. Well, here let's announce our win. Oh, it's also Scott Malone. Completely.
So we had 9 options. He was the first tweet, so he's number 1, and the random generator went to number 1. So Scott wins, and I will message him shortly.
Yay, Scott.
And he gets drinkware of his choosing.
Well, Sarah, our guest is here, and you get the honors of introducing our second intermission guest. Are you ready, my friend? Bring him on.
I'm ready now. Sorry, Rangoon looks really cute. Mike Ryan, hello. You're already ready with your drink.
Yeah.
I don't think you need any introduction with these folks in our comments, but introduce yourself if you would like to.
Mike Ryan of ambiguous Metal Arc executive status and the Dan Le Batard Show, formerly EP. Huge fan of you guys. Honored that you joined us here for this playoff run. Hopefully it's a start of a long, beautiful relationship. Huge believer in all your individual talents. And I think collectively you guys have brought us some hockey coverage that we've desperately needed, some really insightful stuff. And I'm so honored to be on with you guys tonight.
Mike, how and when did you get into hockey?
Well, I think 1996, being I was born and raised here in Miami, it was such a magical cup run so early in their franchise's history to make it to the Stanley Cup against these Avalanche. And even watching them now, I still kind of
I was going to say, like, how do you feel about this matchup right now?
Is it death? Is it pain? Is it just straight pain?
It is pain. I had an irrational hatred for the Avalanche just because of a 4-game sweep when I was like 8 years old. But that fortified, there's nothing like a young, a title run when you're young to really just capture your loyalty. And it took a couple of lockouts, honestly, to shake it away from maybe my true passion. Out of high school, I actually took an internship with the Florida Panthers. And I worked with the Florida Panthers for a full year as an unpaid intern during an NHL lockout, which wasn't very fun. So that was a sobering experience. I think there was another work stoppage, and a lot of bad hockey too from the Florida Panthers. A lot of talking myself into David Booth as an NHL All-Star, possibly.
Those were. My God.
Yeah. Ole Jokinen was a saving grace, but there wasn't much there. It was a doldrum of hockey down here in South Florida. But I've always maintained hope throughout the constant years that they were 5 points out of the final playoff spot. And now we finally have a good team. My wife and I went up to D.C. to watch our Panthers win their first series since 1996. And even though it was a really disappointing way to end the season in the hands of these two-time defending Stanley Cup champion Tampa Bay Lightning, it was still a magical memory that I'll never forget. And it's part of the climb. You got to have heartbreak. It kind of feels like, unless you're even the Vegas Golden Knights had some heartbreak along the way. Like
they finally had heartbreak. They missed the playoffs.
The storied franchise.
Yeah, it's not easy to climb to the top of the mountain, as you all know. So I have faith. I am a little confused at the head coaching hire.
You went right where we were
going.
Let's go. Let's go. What are your thoughts on Paul Maurice, and who were you hoping to see instead?
Well,
because I'm imagining it was not Paul Maurice.
No, it wasn't Paul Maurice, and honestly, it was a little unexpected just because I was drawn to the bigger names. Those were the names that I kept seeing on the timeline. Even though Barry Trotz was probably on True Serum, I would have told you Barry Trotz. It seemed as though what went wrong for him in New York was he didn't get along with the attacking players, and they didn't really want to play his defensive-minded system. And I think that would be just replicating a lot of the stuff that went wrong in New York for him. But I do think that Florida desperately needed an adult in the room and someone that when things are going sideways, you can lean on their experience, knowing that they've been there before. Paul Maurice, I mean, he made it to a Western Conference Finals a couple of years ago, but he doesn't have the greatest track record. I'm hoping you guys can tell me about the fit here and try to get me excited because I'm a little confused at the hire and I'm not fully on board yet.
I have a question. Do you think being an adult in the room would stop them from going to a strip club the night before they got eliminated? Is that the direction we're going?
Not in Tampa. No, there's nobody that's stopping. There is nobody stopping a hockey team from going to a strip club in Tampa.
So the guy who had the best sources actually had a point.
You don't challenge Andy Slater locally on strip club sources. That right there. People think it was a power play becoming anemic. No, it was Andrew Burnett challenging Andy Slater to check his strip club sources. You do not do that locally. He doubled down on it and it blew up in his face. And that's the first time I was like, wow, he's in over his head. He's not ready for this.
Well, Shane, I know you had thoughts on this hire. My thoughts are more about the process of the hire. So what are your thoughts on the strategic fit of the hire?
I question Brunette a bit, aside from this, that's the true reason that it didn't work, which is a very good reason to have. But my questions were how he handled adversity and how he made adjustments, because I think that there was room for improvement there. I mean, you get to the postseason, we're looking at the Colorado Avalanche now, and especially after they got out of that second round, this is a team that is thriving in the playoffs because they're playing to their strengths, which is exactly what Florida didn't do. Part of that's on management, but a lot of that's also on the players and the coaching, and they didn't exactly do that. So, I question how much he could help the players play to their strengths or not. Do I think Paul Maurice is the answer? No, I think that they opened up the bag of coaches who have coached in the last year and picked one of the couple names left out of the hat and went, this is who we're fucking going with. And now everyone has to drink, you're welcome. But it just, Paul Maurice had a pretty good offensive team and a horrible defensive team. And I think that the Panthers need to lean into their style of play, which is chaos off the rush, and you live by the blade, you die by the blade. So maybe they could work on tightening up, but keeping within that system. I think that's the way to go and build from here instead of taking a step back. And I just don't see how their defense is going to get any better under Paul Maurice. What are your thoughts?
I need the defense to get better. The Sherrod acquisition did not.
You didn't like that one. You didn't like that one?
No, they gave up too much and
big overpay.
And he just flatly wasn't good. I want to see Nider. It's not really about Bob. Bob was fine. That's obviously a very low bar to clear. But he recouped some of his trade value, I think. But me wanting to see Nider really has nothing to do with Bob. It would help if Bob forced him on the bench, but he hasn't done that with his play. It's really the dollars that are attached to him. And you invested a high draft pick in Nider. I think in talking to some people at the Florida Panthers franchise in that front office, they feel like Nider is special. He flashes that match-winning quality that you need, I think, to make a deep cup run. And I just kind of want to see what we have there. They probably could afford to change up some of the defensemen. There were some defensemen in particular that, it was like Keith Yandel in disguise back there for a while. Not to name names, I've gone at them pretty hard enough. But Allison, you mentioned that you weren't a fan of the process. I'm curious what you mean by that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I mean, I do believe that anytime a coach comes in any length of time into a season, there's not so much that new coach can do, even if they've been with the organization, because it's the head coach that set the training camp, that set the systems, that started the season, that sets everything about how that team's going to be set up to play, be it their conditioning, their strategy, what have you. So I'm not trying to take away from Brunette in that, but he did keep the team afloat. And I feel like if you saw this man get a lot of attention across the league, he's a finalist for Coach of the Year. You ended up going with a coach, and it has been my observation that a lot of times GMs, when they're ready to make a coaching change, they're pretty set on knowing who they want. It might be one or two guys, but they know. And you end up hiring a coach who was out there, who was available for a long period of time. And so the delay in waiting to do this, particularly to a coach who did what he did with that team. Now, I'm not arguing that Brunette was perfect, but just the timing of it, the length of time in it, it doesn't feel great. And I would love to see it maybe been handled in a little bit more of a tidy fashion. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, it makes sense considering how long he was available. Sarah, who do you think the Panthers should have gone for? Honestly, like once Cassidy went up, they kept saying Pete DeBoer, and he's obviously had a very good track record, but that's a little PTSD for me. He was here and it didn't work. It's hard for me to work myself into a level of excitement for Pete DeBoer, even understanding that since he was with the Panthers, it's gone very well for him.
Yeah, I was going to say Cassidy. I thought he'd be a great fit for the kind of high octane offense. He's really good at some of the power play systems and kind of playing to the offensive strengths. Maybe it's just because Bergeron and Tuukka Rask are on his team. That's the thing with coaches too. We all have our theories, but it's like which guys are on the team. I think we don't talk about that enough. And that's why I think Maurice will actually be fine. I mean, he has a mediocre track record, but I do think he's a good X's and O's guy. He's kind of a player's coach, but I like that these days. I think sometimes the high offense guys need to know that they can play to their strengths,
Well, I mean, we're seeing a high octane offense. Granted, they also have some good defenders. A goalie that at times, especially tonight, has been pretty good, but not one of these superstar names. If the Panthers can look at a way to actually go at Tampa, they have a pretty good example right now in the Colorado Avalanche. I thought the second period in particular was fascinating, considering how they bounced back. Allison, I think you mentioned on the show, on the Levitard show today, that you could actually see the Tampa Bay Lightning flip a switch, and you can't really see that with other teams. How does that manifest? Does it manifest with them just apparently playing with two sticks, one in each hand, and throwing their bodies at pucks to the point that you can't get a clean shot on target? Because when the Panthers really struggled against Tampa, they just couldn't even, when the puck got through the traffic, 88 would stop it. And the big problem was it just wasn't getting through to them cleanly anyways.
Yeah, I mean, I think, the reason you could feel that switch flip, and New York was the most glaring example to me, right? Because those first two games, and, others said it too in the media, like John Cooper didn't look confident on the bench those first two games. New York had the upper hand. And then you just saw Tampa Bay say, okay, now we're playing. And I don't know about you guys, but there have been times, particularly in series, when you're covering a series, you can feel the energy shift. You can feel which team has it in them to win above and beyond the abilities on the ice. And having been with a coach like John Tortorella, who always talked about what he had to do with Columbus specifically was take them, as he always used to say, from a team that hoped to win, that expected to win, and going through that journey of understanding what that feels like and what a team starts doing in an intangible way when that shift happens. That's what I've seen in Tampa. You just see them come out resolute. You see them confident in their play without being cocky. And there is something in their play and the energy that they're putting out that the expectation is there that they're going to see their way through. And that's when all the pieces start to come together. And I think it's kind of like, I'm trying to think, it's not like Rocky, because Rocky lost at first too. It's kind of like in Rocky IV, which is the best Rocky, PS, by the way, when he comes back and starts beating Drago and he's just like, I'm just going to go. And Drago's like, I don't know what to do with this. Like, I think that's part of the mental edge they have over these opponents, because no one else has had the cup in almost 3 years now. And so it's like, here they come again. Can we stop them? And if they can get that mental edge and control that energy, that's what I've been seeing with Tampa when they kind of flip that switch each series.
You mentioned the mental edge, and Shane, I'm curious your thoughts. There was a bit of a mental lapse on that second goal. Victor Hedman, granted he's a defenseman, but he's a 20 goal scorer. And did Colorado get caught watching the puck here? They were daring him to shoot that shot. This is Victor Hedman. He's one of the more offensively gifted defensemen in the league. I was a little dumbfounded by the strategy to dare a 20 goal scorer to shoot.
I mean, yeah, but I guess maybe when you look at it too, you're thinking like we need to shut down the forwards, not the defenders, or you're anticipating a different play, and that's what makes him such a good player. Like, you might not be sure what trick he has up his sleeve, because just as much as he can shoot the puck, he can set up his opponents too. So like, it's a tough call. Like, how do you defend some of the best players in the world? And to this point, like, they did a very good job of it. So maybe they didn't expect that he was going to actually look like himself tonight.
Yeah, but in that spot, he was basically an attacking player. He didn't really have a lot of options. I know in that moment there's a lot of moving parts, but he was the most advanced Tampa player, and he only really had one defenseman in between him. I was just really curious. Like, did they not think he could hit a backhand?
I don't even know. It's too, I guess it's just, it develops so quickly, and you're trying to keep an eye on everybody. Like, I can't speak to it. I'm not an NHL player. If I have Victor Hedman, like, icy skating to the zone, like, I don't even know how I react. Like, how do you try to stop him without maybe pulling yourself out of position too, or getting in front of your goaltender? Like, there's so many things going on at once that how do you best handle it? It's why he has the point totals he does, and it's why he's one of the best in the league, you know?
Like, looking at the replays, it really does look like they were just kind of watching, like, wow, he's pretty good. And sometimes they have those lapses. It just happens. They're humans, you know?
Let me get in here real quick. We've got the third period about to start. So let me get in real quick. We do have an update that both Chernak and Cirelli are back for period 3. And our TMM trivia for period 3 is, how many saves will Darcy Kemper end up with in this game? He currently has 24 saves on 26 shots. Tweet your guess to us at @2_much_man on Twitter with the hashtag TMM trivia to guess how many saves Darcy Kemper will have in the entire game, having 24 to this point.
Do you think McKinnon's going to have another period in which he has 6+ shot attempts on goal? That was wild.
The better question is one of them going to go in?
Yeah,
I am sick of this guy. I expect more from my Nate Dogg.
Well, he did get credited with that first one after everyone thought it was Landeskog. Yeah. It was a dirty one, a ricochet, but he finally got on the score sheet.
Yeah,
it's not for a lack of trying. The commentators made a pretty interesting point in talking to Bednar. It kind of seemed like McKinnon was just shooting to force a rebound, and they've scored so many dirty goals like that, and that's a necessity to win a Stanley Cup. Really, you're going to need some cheap ones, but he wasn't looking to score all that much. So it's been a much more aggressive Nathan McKinnon. If he gets one more, 2 goals, cashes in at +500 for those that are following.
Here we go. Mike, the chat has been aggressively asking you for your picks for this game. Do you have any more wisdom to share on your picks thus far?
Well,
what are your locks? What are your locks?
Well, the lock always, if I think Tampa is going to perform well, it's always Hedman assist. That's always one of my go-tos. You always got to go Kucherov assist too. I've been losing a lot on McKinnon to score a goal. I wasn't going to stop now. And I actually went for a higher juice play too with 2 goals scored. That's at +500. And if that cashes, that's pretty juicy. Today was the first day that I started hedging because I was pretty invested. Once the Lightning went down 0-2 to the Rangers, I just started pumping money on them to lift the cup because I was like, I've seen this movie before. They're not dead. They're just going to win a third one. I know it. So I have them at a pretty juicy price. I got them at +700. So now I'm going to start hedging. And I did so with the Avalanche here. I took Avalanche money line -110. I think they got another goal in them. I like what I saw out of the second period a little bit. It seemed like they were settling in. It was curious. I don't know if you heard what Kadri said about the ice quality, but I think
people are not happy. Yeah.
He called the ice garbage.
Well, there it is, Mike. Somebody tied it up.
Whoa, I'm on delay.
Wait, how are you? Sarah,
I
you're
just
ahead
got
of
a
us all
tweet.
now.
Dear
I was
LeBron,
gonna say,
I
wait,
have
you moved ahead of us.
I know. I was like, how did that happen?
Was
All right,
McKinnon-
here we go.
was it McKinnon?
2-2.
Was it
Let's
McKinnon?
see.
Was it
No.
It was
McKinnon?
not
Stern.
McKinnon.
If Frankton got an assist, I'm okay.
Wow. Let's see this. Okay, can we talk about that teal ball logo? It needs to at least match the uniforms, please.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like a little bit of
Wow.
consistency.
This is
Oh,
some
that's a
old-fashioned-
wonky goal. That is a wonky bounce. Oh, that
Taylor
sucks for
Turnquist
Vasilevsky.
boyfriend right there.
Wow.
This is an old-fashioned Stanley Cup final. These
Yeah.
goals have been
Woo!
ugly. This wasn't game 1 or game 2. I like.
They don't
this.
ask how, they ask how many, Mike.
Yeah. Well, I am excited to watch the rest of this game. Thank you, ladies, for having me on the show. I really appreciate it. I will be tuning in. I hope everybody watching that isn't just visiting for the intermissions. I know it's hard to go up against a game, but I've been checking in on you guys during the commercial breaks and trying to hear your insight. And I deeply appreciate everything that you guys are doing. And thank you so much for doing this watch along. I'm enjoying it.
Well, thank you. Thank you for everything. And hopefully we'll get to offering some of those insights sometime soon. We'll try. We'll get there.
All right. Thank you for
Thanks
having
so
me.
much, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks.
Awesome. Wow. We have been lucky with some guests, y'all. And if we are able to do another one of these, we'll have to get some more people to hold up the caliber of who we've got joining us. But that's a big start to this period for Colorado. To get, Shayna, what are you eating?
I was handed popcorn and I'm trying to be subtle, but like I was handed.
I'm curious how you thought you'd be subtle eating popcorn. Just
I'm trying to
clarify.
like cover my mouth, but like not be a shit pig about it. But like if you get handed popcorn,
There's nothing shitbaggy about snacking on popcorn.
I didn't even ask for it. I got handed popcorn, sweet potato chips, and Chips Ahoy because I like.
Wow. We all
I
need
know.
an assist like Rich. My goodness gracious.
I was
Because
handed a
someone
dog
commented
and 3
shit
snacks.
pig.
Yeah.
Shayna, remember when you said shit pig?
She just
When-
did.
Oh, you said it again. I thought this was a callback from the first
No,
time
I
you
just
said
said
it. and
I
was
said
like,
I don't
what
want to
did
be
you
a shit
say?
pig.
Oh, I thought you said shit bag in your Long Island
Oh, no.
accent.
You know, and
My
it's
accent is not even that bad.
it's an interesting point that we were just talking about before that goal too, and what Mike brought up, and some other folks in the chat and on Twitter have brought it up as well, even before Kadri's comments. Do we, and listen, it's true. I mean, it's 9,000 degrees in Tampa with probably 8 billion% humidity. That directly impacts the ice, particularly when you have a jam-packed full building, because they have to cool that building, not just for the weather outside, but then for the anticipated temperature increase with all those bodies in there. Is the shitty ice quality what is
It says-
leading to a lot
well,
of the
it
bad
says
goals?
83 degrees.
That's a
It
million
is
degrees.
10
Right now
fucking
at
PM,
10:17
I
p.m.
and it's
know.
83
Oh.
degrees
Listen.
with 67% humidity and 5 miles per hour of wind and 1% precipitation.
Oh, I lived there for 2.5 years. Listen, it's a
You live
thing.
in Tampa?
Yeah.
I did not know
Yes.
this. I knew about DC.
Yep.
I did
Lived in
not know
Tampa
about
for
Tampa.
2.5 years. Yeah. Yep. But anyway,
Details
do we,
about Allison's life just leak
Yeah.
out sometimes. We're
oh,
like,
did
"What you
Shayna
do?"
say fuck? Did we miss it?
Did I?
Bruce
Yes.
did calling us out. All right,
Yes.
here we go.
Well, you guys aren't saying your words.
Because we've grown. Remember?
I said one once. This is
But,
actually an intervention to Shayna.
Do we think that the shitty ice quality is why we're getting crappy goals and not pretty goals? Because this is the way that play's evolving. Shayna.
There's a lot of skill in this matchup, so you expect pretty goals, but like it's hockey where like it's a league that's filled with ugly goals and lucky bounces. You're said it before, say it again. You are playing a game with knives on your boots, flying around the ice super quickly, shooting pucks at 100 plus miles per hour and smashing into each other. Shit happens, and you're gonna have not the nicest of goals. Will the ice play into that? Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. You both have to drink now because I didn't say it, I would say.
No, you don't get to make up the rules mid-game,
That's
sister.
like a little way to like.
So people are giving me a hard time about my weather comment. Let me be clear. Do I really think that's the reason? I don't know. That's why I brought it up for conversation. Shitty ice can impact the game quite a bit in terms of play. It can impact in terms of the way a puck bounces on its way to the net. But also Brennan asks, it's been very hot in Denver too. Is it just the humidity difference? And yes, humidity could make a difference. I was lucky enough to talk to Ian Huffman, who ran the ice in Nationwide Arena for Columbus. And there's a crap ton of thought and science and work that goes into maintaining good ice. And I'm not shitting on the Tampa ice. Please understand, this is a big ask to maintain good ice in these. What are you laughing at?
That you're not shitting on Tampa ice. Like, can we clarify for like 4.2 seconds? Like, there's shitty ice all over the. I'm going to be very specific on my timing. All over the league. I mean, north on Long Island, you had that with Barclays, although their issue was that it was PVC piping, which you were not supposed to be allowed to have, and they still allowed them to like build the rink there and be like, oh yeah, hockey team's totally going to play here, and they knew like that was outright not okay. But like, it's not like it's that wild to say it, and it's June, and anywhere it would probably be warm, but Tampa in particular, like it's already a hotter climate.
Wait,
like it's not like.
Is there better ice because of the altitude in Denver?
Oh my God.
Wait a minute. Is the ice in Denver or Tampa better than the ice in Toronto? That's what I need to know.
Who could be better than Toronto?
Fair enough. Fair enough.
How does the ice affect the Leafs? This is why the Leafs should be in the final. We'll never see the ice conditions in June, unfortunately, because the Maple Leafs don't know how to get here.
Yeah, exactly. I guess we'll never know. Somebody commented, since Sarah hasn't said honestly, drink every time her voice cracks. That's fair. I am going through puberty, so bear with me. I've just always had a voice like this for some reason.
It's all good. I feel like we need Rich to like travel to the rest of us though and bring us snacks. This is an unfair advantage for Shayna.
Well,
Rich,
Everett
they
made
want
me
you to bring snacks for everyone.
Entire meal.
You got a full
Before
meal?
this, he made me drumsticks. Like I could eat drumsticks on this side.
Could you imagine? That would be amazing.
No, you need the drumstick ice cream.
Oh, I do love a good drumstick.
So last night, you'll like this. Last night, we're sitting there and we were talking about like having snacks, and I'm like, oh, we have a box of Snickers ice cream bars, which we never have. I'm always going for ice pops, but like I was craving one, and we searched the freezer, completely gone. He's like, oh, do you want something else? Like you can have an ice pop, you can have this ice cream. He pulls out like a Ben and Jerry's that's so freezer burnt. I'm like, no, I don't fucking want that. The only thing I wanted was a Snickers ice cream bar, but he did bring them home today. So I do have those now because I was thinking about it all night. I'm sitting there pissed off. Like all I wanted was just one Snickers ice cream bar. He's like, I'll go down the block. No, I don't want it anymore. I don't want to do the work
understand like how when we want that one thing, we just want that one thing. And that's why we bought it.
Exactly.
I did not buy them actually. They were brought here. And I didn't have them when everyone was eating them. And then I put them away thinking like, I'll come back to this the next day.
Here's a little nugget for you. You ready for this? So we are watching the U.S. broadcast on ESPN. Obviously, Sportsnet has the broadcast in Canada. And apparently it was reported by Elliot Friedman that Pierre-Luc Dubois has told the Jets that he plans to test free agent waters in 2024. The Jets do have team control for 2 more years.
That's
and they want to sign
out.
He's like, guys, I'm out.
Finish my sentence.
Sorry.
Finish.
Jets have team control for 2 more years and want to sign him long term. Now, Shayna, go off.
He's saying 2 years away that I'm going to test free agency market is the clearest cut way of saying, please trade me the hell out of Winnipeg.
He's
please
done that
get
before.
me out of here. Well, this is true. This is very true. You would know. But like,
I love it. I love it.
They might get.
Hey,
he doesn't
anybody?
Want to play, he preemptively saying he hates Barry Trotz.
I'm around.
In 2 years, I'm here for you.
I mean, it's good for the Jets because his trade value is going to be higher after his last season. But on the other hand, what the hell do you care what your trade value? Do players care who they get traded for? Does it look worse if you get traded for a 2nd round pick versus like a legitimately good player in return? Like, I don't know. I guess it's a confidence boost. If you're Ben Sherratt and you suddenly go for a 1st round pick plus, you probably feel pretty damn good about yourself because that's what someone valued you to be worth. But on the other hand, are you like, do you want to acquire this guy? Is Pierre-Luc Dubois the problem? Is he sync teams?
Here's a hot take. Hot take.
Here we go.
Pierre-Luc Dubois.
It's evolving. This is how we're going. We're going to see the rumors flying.
Shayna needs to be able to take him into the game, take him out of the game, and put him back in. And all the problems will be
Pierre off the ice. Get the fuck on the bench.
You know what he did, though? You know what he did in Winnipeg this year? Oh, I'll tell you after this drink.
Go ahead, Sarah.
He said, screw the dress code. I am not wearing a suit for like the last
Who is this?
quarter. Pierre-Luc Dubois.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
For the last quarter of the season, he was like, I'm just going to wear street clothes to the rink because to the uninitiated, NHL players have dress codes where they have to wear suits to every game, which is pretty ridiculous. But a lot of the guys have been kind of dressing up recently, like in ways that actually show their expression and things like that. And Pierre-Luc Dubois decided, screw this, I'm going to start wearing cool clothes. And he did. So I like him. He can do no wrong in my eyes.
His fashion gene is strong.
Yeah.
His fashion gene is strong.
I care about that.
Well, it'll be interesting now to watch to see what happens. Oh, here we go. Now people are saying that Tom Hughes says it's all fun and games until Winnipeg trades PLD to Philly.
Oh my God. I hope that happens.
Anchor to the bench.
I'm manifesting that. Maybe I just want to be like what everyone thinks Torts is.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it.
That's your future.
Who knew? Everyone thinks that Torts is some huge asshole and he's so terrible to everyone because he does have his traditional ways and he does have a strictness to him, but he like actually has more progressive ideas than most coaches in this league. But maybe I am the true Torts that everyone thinks he is because I want to be an asshole to everyone. I don't even want to be.
I love how Shayna's so invested now in all of this. Zach Menudo says, and Zach, props to you for this. There's a little bit of Torts in all of us.
That's a good thing.
He
loves dogs, and we all love dogs.
That is true. That is true.
Right, Cone? Here, wait.
It's Torts the Doc Rivers of hockey.
We all love dogs. She's down.
We love cats.
Oh, here we go. This is the cats versus dog debate. Chime in on that, chat. Are we team cat?
Oh my God.
I'm allergic
is so
to
cute.
She's asleep, and she's like, please.
So Philip, this came up earlier. I do want to clarify because this was an issue for sure. Philip in the chat says that Torts will sit any player that protests. And he actually did come out on the record later clarifying that he did not support that any longer, that he had learned the error of his statement. He had clarified why he had said that when he said it, but he did support any player's right to protest. And he did say that on the record and change his stance there. So just wanted to make sure that people did know that.
Oh, good. I knew there was something with him.
Yeah.
I give credit to someone, Kona snoring, sorry, who has the guts to get up and say, you know what? I was wrong. Crazy concept.
Yeah. A lot of guys like that are very opinionated sometimes don't have that gene. So it's good to say, oh, I was wrong. But I like a person that can be kind of sassy, but at the same time know when to own up to something, you know?
100%. This is getting interesting, folks.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, no,
I'd like to see a conversation with him. Like, I'd like to see him elaborate on things more, but I don't know. Okay.
I think to a certain point too, and he talked about this. He was just as Jeff Merrick said to us during the first intermission, he was just on the show, and I thought it was a really good interview. I would encourage people to go find that in your podcasts. And he said, and I think this is valuable. I mean, this is the same thing about players too, right? He's like, I can't care about what people think of me to do my job. Now, does he have to be tuned in to doing things the right way and doing what's right and being aware of what's going on in the community around him at multiple levels? Absolutely, I think. And I would say that for anyone, but he explained it a little bit more eloquently than I am.
Anyone, Elaine Vigneault. Sorry, carry on. Greg Berube, like.
But I thought it was interesting because it is true. I mean, you can't, and we've talked about this too. You can't go after everyone who sends you a shitty tweet on Twitter, or you're just going to not have time in the day. So at some point.
Well, I'm challenging that. I'm trying to be better, but sometimes people.
Yes, agree. But Sarah, you're like the freaking sniper with it. You're so good. I love it.
I just don't have. Just got to put these people in their place.
We had a comment. Liam was commenting on Steven Stamkos, just putting it all out there. He's really, we've talked about this on the pod. He has really stood out to me this series. And for a player that I think, there are other players on this roster who have gotten more attention from a production perspective. But I think he's really having a statement. And Sarah, you said this on the podcast too. How has Stamkos impressed you? Has he continued to do so as the series is going on?
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I did say that he impressed me. He does. It's like I kind of fell into the trap of, because he's been hurt or whatever it is, that I haven't thought that highly of him, and that's on me. And now during this season, he's had this resurgence, and like in the regular season, he was awesome. He's not done yet at all. And then during the playoffs, he's making this impact. And I know he played on his broken, leg or foot last time around, and scored on the one shift and then left. And I was kind of like, damn, at that point. And now I'm like, damn again. So yes, I'm impressed by Steven Stamkos. So he can now fall asleep at night.
Shayna, what do you think of Stamkos' game this postseason?
I think that at times in like round one, I was looking for more from him, and I think he delivered on it. And I think sometimes we forget what a playmaker he has developed into over the years. Like, he's a really slick passer. We saw that on display last game or game 2. I forget.
You're blending together.
No, it was game. It was game 3.
Games are all just, it's one long play of hockey.
With Palat, it was game 3. That was the game that Tampa won. But like tonight, it's interesting because like you can see a dangerous chance from him, and it's like his numbers really aren't strong. The Lightning are getting outchanced; they're getting outshot while he's on the ice at 5-on-5. That entire line, but an elite player, which he is, can change the tone of a game in a second. So, I think that's pretty important. If he can just get not a lucky chance, if he can create his own chances, that could literally be a series changer.
Yeah, for sure. We're getting chippy here, friends. And I did not, if you saw me react, Kemper didn't look super comfortable on that last save. I didn't love that for him.
Wow, but you just hate Darcy Kemper.
As a reminder, our TMM trivia is how many saves will Darcy Kemper make in this game? He's up to 26 on 28 shots. If you have a guess, and if you want to enter your guess for a chance to win a piece of Too Many Men drinkware, tweet us. It has to be on Twitter at @2_much_man and include the hashtag TMM trivia with your guesses. And I don't hate Darcy Kemper.
If he didn't get a commercial break right there, and you're Jared Bednar, do you want to talk to him and be like, you're doing great, bud? Maybe you do.
Go. Maybe here's your break.
Knows?
Here's your break.
Take a shift off.
Maybe he says. And then he says, we'll bring you back. Okay, but here's a legitimate question for you. Okay. Let's go with your goaltending strategy, right? We're going to be swapping them in and out. I do like this new layer of saying we have like strategic goaltenders. We have our shootout goaltender. We have our penalty kill goaltender, for example. How do you manage, however, you pull Kemper, you want to get him back in, but you can't control when the next stoppage is. So you have to go risk against when the next stoppage is that you can make that swap back. How do you manage that?
That's so tricky.
Right.
Do you tell your player, like, blow someone up, take a penalty? No, then you extend it. If they're the penalty killing one, you can't do that. That's tricky, but like, I guess you just have to trust both of them enough. Like you're not going to have a goalie on your bench who you don't trust to go into regular play. Right. And that what if they need a backup, something? You need to figure that out.
This would be like, because it lends it.
I like that we're buying
on the fly. Can you change a goaltender on the fly?
That would be absolutely wild. Yes, I want to see goalies change on the fly. Now, okay. Now we're changing.
Now here we go. Now we like this.
Okay. So we're not just asking goalies to be good savers. We want goalies who can handle. Right. We want goalies who can handle the puck well, not in a Mike Smith capacity.
Not exactly. Listen, just play within yourself. We all don't need to handle the puck. We all do not need to send stretch passes down the ice. Be you.
Goalies are going to get bag skated now.
Oh my God.
And told to do drills because they have to get to the bench quickly. Then goalies are going to, this is how you train them to get over the bench quick. Ready? We're going to put hurdles on the ice to use in drills. And they're going to have to quickly dive over it smoothly. And that's their drill. Like, you're just going to see it in practice. There's going to be, at each line, there's going to be a hurdle that a goalie is going to have to go up and down the ice and just quickly, in all their equipment, get over. And if they can get over the hurdle quickly, then you can trust them to get over the boards quickly, because we're not going to expect them to get through the door. You know what I mean? Like, no, one has to jump over the boards. So now every goalie has to go through these shifts as well and focus on getting over hurdles and getting up and down the ice quickly and into net and be set without a stoppage. Like, that's absolutely wild. But if a goalie could do that, yes.
Okay, here's my next wrinkle. We're gonna do this, because here's the thing.
We're doing this. We're committing to this.
Now, also, let's say you have your special teams goaltender, right? We like this idea, right? That is a situation where I could see that you might have a goaltender who's a specialist or a strong fit for that play. Now, much like we've seen the evolution of a power kill, do you see the evolution of how you either start or end special teams play to allow that time and space for your goaltender to switch? It might change up how you tackle that play as the skaters, to give that cushion of space. See, you like this. I can see.
I do. I know. I like it because, like, we're thinking, look, the whole idea is thinking about the game differently, which we're doing. And so, Sarah, what you miss is Allison actually likes the idea of pulling goaltenders. But now we're talking about pulling goalies on. Yeah. But now, if you can't ensure that you're going to get a stoppage to swap them back, we want to ensure that goalies can change quickly on the fly. So they're going to train by putting hurdles out on the ice and in practice in their full gear, getting over the bench. That's how they're going to do it, and being quicker skaters. But now it has to be so strategic to do it at the right time. So just like there's a power kill strategy, we have strategies for goalies that have nothing to do with making saves.
With the amount of too many men penalties called this season, I think that should be a standard procedure for every skater. We need more obstacles at practice.
And this is now interesting, because now, think about the trickle-down effect. So this could also be, so now if we do this, to your point, Shayna, is skating more important than puck handling for your goaltender?
Absolutely.
And now...
Well, also, if you're the penalty killing goalie, do you want your goalie puck handling? No, you don't at all.
Yeah. Now, do you also see, much like we've seen, and we're already seeing this, of course, in a lot of different things, but do you see the continued evolution of equipment? Because now, like, pads, can we make them lighter? Gear, can we make it lighter? Like, what kind of evolution happens both in terms of the materials and the design?
You bought in.
Them faster?
This is wonderful. Who knew? The evolution of your answer, forget about the evolution of the position. The evolution of your answer really is incredible here.
I come across it at my own time.
Great.
I've lost power to my computer, so just keep talking. Go ahead.
But this is truly wonderful here. Yes, you have to change equipment because you need speedier skating. You might need it that it's a little bit easier to move. You might want that, like, maybe some goalies don't like certain skates because it limits their ability in one situation, but in the other, that's how they'd prefer it. But if you're intending to be a special teams goalie, like if you're a goaltender that's getting called into a game, obviously you're fully dressed in your equipment, but could you have it that if you wanted to change pads, like you could quickly be like, actually, before I go in?
Listen to this. We've got great stuff coming out of the chat. Number one, and there's lots of examples, but I'll give this. Think about all the arenas where the backup goaltender sits in different places. This is now a strategic advantage.
Now we are changing all the arenas, which
as we should.
You'd have to regulate it. And then one to go. I like this. Do you need to even have full goalie equipment, or can you go halfway and have a guy who plays at the circles, folks?
Oh my God, that's positionless hockey that I can get into.
Who knew that positionless hockey would start from the goaltender out?
I'm here
It's a new day. It's a new day.
Can I say, I cannot stand when new arenas are built without a spot for the goalie. Like, if you don't want to have a spot between the bench, I guess that's one thing, but to not have a spot for the backup goalie.
Yes.
And then they're just awkwardly sitting there. I know at the Coliseum, the visiting goalie would sit in the front of a section literally with fans. Like, I had sat 6 rows back from a goalie once, and I'm just like watching. It was against the Hurricanes. I forget who their backup was. This is like 15 years ago, but it was so funny to me. Like, they're just right there. Like, if you build a brand new arena, you need to have a spot.
Well, in Carolina, they sit in the tunnel, right, Sarah?
Yeah.
The visiting backup goaltender.
And it's a wind tunnel, which people don't know.
It's awful.
It's like,
oh my God.
It really is not great. And that arena sucks anyway. Like, they need to update that. I just can't.
Are there actually, like, is there actually an effort to try and do that, or are they?
Yeah. Okay. There's an effort to do that. They've like talked to Centennial Time, whatever it's called. What's it called? Like the town hall where they have to go, like whatever court. I don't even know. Some guy keeps reporting on it. I'm just like, I don't get this. I'm not going to report on it, but I'm reading his reports. So I want there to be a downtown arena, but it's just there's no downtown in Raleigh, North Carolina. So
there's that cute little area. Like we went and had like food there and stuff. There's a cute little area, no?
Like North Hills.
Sure. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think you like. There's just not with the infrastructure. There's no public transportation. It's just kind of like a hard sell. And then there's like with Raleigh, they have so many like a lot of the hockey fans come from the suburbs at Cary, and there's like a few other places. So I guess it makes sense where they have it, but it's just there's nothing around it. Like I don't know if I'm a fan, I wouldn't really want to watch a game there, but I guess they have like really good tailgating during the playoffs, and that's a lot of fun. So
gotcha. Yeah, that's the thing. Like when that's we were talking earlier about like what teams are we fans of. This is the other thing. Like when we go to games, to a little bit, like we can walk through a tailgate and like see how much fun it is, but like we're not there to hang out. Like we have to go get to work. We have to do all that kind of thing. Yeah. And yes, some people are asking if this goes to OT, are we going to stay here? We are going to stay. We are here till the bitter end. As she yawns.
I can't drink like I used to.
Oh man, here we are. We're in the final 5 minutes. 2-2. I'll take this though. This is better than last game. I'll take this. Oh. So Sarah, what does your clock time say on the game with your stream?
Right now it doesn't say. Okay, 5:25 left. How much?
Oh wow. 5:07. Okay. You're
living in the future.
That's where I am.
What's it like out there?
It's still 2-2. How about that?
Here too. But I get my little caveat here is that I get Pierre LeBrun's tweets like sent to my phone.
Oh, right.
So that's how I was even ahead of you in the future before.
Life hack. Notifications. Mm-hmm. They're a dream. Mm-hmm. All right, Sarah, people are asking, forget being a fan of a team. What arenas are you a fan of?
Yes, it depends. Okay. Obviously, Vegas T-Mobile is amazing. Not just because of like being in Vegas, but that also helps. But it's like the sound system they have there, and it's such fun. I loved Seattle. I thought that was a really cool, like it's underground and it's in a good location. You walk outside, you see the Space Needle. It's very cool. What else is there? I mean, it's cool to cover games at Madison Square Garden. You always feel really official, but they don't have a women's bathroom for the press. You'd think they'd be progressive, but I'm like running through, getting groped on the concourse, trying to, whatever. I'm not a fan. And then some of the Canadian ones, the Oilers, Rogers, whatever.
I know I haven't been to the new one yet. I want to go so bad. I've heard it's amazing.
It's amazing.
That's awesome.
There's a lot of good ones.
You know which one drives me nuts for the same reasons like walking to the bathroom is Nashville. How you have to walk across the concourse to get to anything. Oh.
But they make up for it. They got like free pizza, free hot dogs, sometimes free beer. They have a lot of good stuff going on with the snacks. The cane snacks suck.
Dallas does a really nice job taking care of the media with snacks. They do a really nice job. Boston with the dessert bar. Although I haven't been back since COVID. They brought it back? Do you know the dessert bar?
They brought it back, but during the playoffs, I was kind of like, I need more coffee. They didn't really have more coffee. It was a matinee. Like, wake up, people. I'm trying to wake up.
Wake up, babe. It's hockey time.
Yeah, I should have just walked up to the attendants. Wake up, babe.
Look at this. Everyone's just
God, it's the playoffs, baby.
Everyone's falling, and this goes back to our ice discussion.
No, the ice looks horrible. That's unacceptable, but like, what are you going to do?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing you can do to fix it. I'm trying to think who else has good. You know who else? Chicago actually has good snacks. They change every period. That's good.
And that's just a legendary place to be.
For sure. Who else? Yeah, Seattle's pretty money, but I'm obviously biased there.
It is good. And it's got to be. It's like a new arena, so.
Shane, Alex is so excited. She said, Shayna's back. Hello.
She did not permanently leave us.
I did not.
Florida snack bar, actually, it's really good. Or am I thinking about Buffalo? I don't know why. They have the same exact layout to me. Buffalo, KeyBank, and Florida BB&T. Did they change it? It's Florida Live now, right?
Oh, I don't know. Is it no longer BB&T? I don't know.
I think this is the last year of BB&T, maybe.
Yeah. I didn't go there at all for some reason this season.
What is the best outside of arena area? Tampa Bay's is pretty money. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Vegas is sweet. Who else? Carolina, the tailgate thing is pretty cool. That's very cool. Shayna's left again.
Shayna said, I don't care about these arenas or their outsides.
2 minutes to go.
Oh God. Do we think this gets done in regulation? I don't.
Ooh, I say no. I say no. It's going to overtime.
Shayna, do you think this gets done in regulation or no?
No. I mean, we know Tampa can score those back-breaking goals in the last minute of play, and if Andre Palat does that, someone even more money just got put in his next contract. But I feel like this is going to overtime.
Do I like St. Louis? Oh my God. I will say in St. Louis, I am always running around, and I try to lobby to the PHWA, the Professional Hockey Writers Association, to get maps or something about where to go, because I feel like when I go to these visiting arenas and I'm flailing around, you never know what door is going to be open or not. And there's so many. And I know, Allison, that's so bad in Columbus for the visiting media. It's a mess. But in St. Louis, the last time I was there a few months ago, I literally didn't even say anything. I just looked lost. And some guy on a go-kart came up to me and was like, do you need help? I was like, I'm in the media. I don't know where I'm going. He's like, get on the golf cart. And they were like, we're running through everywhere. And he's like, she's with the press. And I'm like, thanks, guys. So I love the people in St. Louis too. That was one of the first trips I took after COVID, and everybody was just very friendly.
My kingdom for teams that put not just directions in their media guide of where to go in, but an actual map.
Yes.
Because when you say the northeast corner of this street, first of all, I don't know where all the streets are.
Do I have a compass?
No.
No, who among us?
Second of all, I'm literally looking at the sun, trying to figure out which way is north, east, west, and south. It's a nightmare. So please just give me a map of your arena and put a big arrow where I'm supposed to go in. Please.
I like Capital One. It says media entrance, and then you walk in
the
the
big
media
red,
entrance. Imagine that. Imagine that.
Crazy stuff.
It's always the worst one is the Devils. They will escort you out and call the police. They won't actually call the police, but I feel like they get so mad, and I'm like, am I supposed to go? And they're like, and this has happened to multiple people I talked to. They're like, I don't know. I'm like, okay, thanks so much. They do have ice cream there though.
There you go. So someone asked too, they said, what are you most excited about for your first visit to Arizona? Honestly, I want to see how they pull this off. Yeah. I want to go. I want to see it.
Yeah. I love college hockey. I love what Arizona State has done. They kept their head coach from the club days. I want to see it too. I would like to see it.
And I think honestly, in the grand scheme of things, in theory, if this whole plan does work, to say you were one of the very few people who actually got to see a game in there, I think is going to be pretty interesting. Yeah. All right, we're at 20 seconds, friends. 20 seconds. It looks like we are going to overtime. This is the hockey we said we wanted. We said we wanted competitive. We said we wanted interesting. To confirm, we are going to keep the Darcy Kemper bet going into overtime. It will be for the entirety of the game. And maybe we'll come up with something for overtime as a fourth trivia prize.
Should it be the primary assist? Brandon Hagel doesn't look like Point in that shot. He looks like Brandon Hagel. Who knew it was possible?
Should we do who's going to be at -1? Is that too mean?
But there'd be 5 of them.
Yeah, there's too many options.
Yeah.
All right. So with 4 seconds to go, we are now believing. Watch me jinx it all. I'm actually kind of trying. We'll see. Right off the face off. This could happen. Nope. JK.
All right.
Overtime.
We're going to go to overtime, friends. It tied 2-2. This has been quite an interesting challenge for both teams. We have 2 #TMM trivia challenges going on that will carry over until the end of this game. And they are, number 1, how many saves will Darcy Kemper have in this game? He currently has 34 saves on 36 shots. And then for overtime, we are asking who will have the primary assist on the game winner. To submit your choices, please submit each choice for each trivia question separately. Tweet us at 2_much_man using the #TMM trivia. All right. We were working on who wins.
Who
wins?
I'm asking who wins.
We already asked this at the beginning of the game. Okay, here's this.
No, but like now.
Oh, my mic is muted. I had a whole take that I was just saying by myself. I'm like, why are you guys don't care, I guess.
What is your take, Sarah? Let's go.
I'm changing my take. I think that the Avs are going to win. I think the comeback effort, they didn't come this far just to go this far. I think they're going to score in overtime.
I want to change my take. I am getting the vibe that Tampa's going to win. Like they held in this game when their level of play slipped off, and it just feels like if any team's going to have like that dagger moment, it's Tampa. Tiebreak, Allison.
Here's what I think. I'm going to make a bigger, bolder prediction. I will suggest that the winner of this game goes on to win the series. And therefore, I'm going to switch my take also. And I'm going to go to Colorado. Why are you laughing at me?
This is a moment of consequence.
I'm laughing. I think it's funny. 2 against 1. It's fine.
It was 2 against 1 before.
It's always 2 against 1. And I'm always the one.
That's not always true. I agree with
Allison,
you last on
how do you feel about barefoot driving?
Well, that's unsafe and illegal.
It is legal. It is legal in most states.
It is not.
Marry or kill. Altitude or bad ice.
Marry or kill. I'm going to marry the altitude and I will kill the bad ice because the bad ice is dangerous if it's, and it's tough to figure out how do you avoid that if it's like a warm temperature, like as much, it's not like the ice crews aren't working their asses off right now. So I just think it's unfortunate, but the altitude, like that's a very interesting wrinkle and really can give you that home ice advantage. But like, I think Allison, you pointed out, it's not like the Avalanche were perfect at home this year. So that's my take.
Shayna, I agree with you.
Wow.
How about that?
Wow.
Sarah?
I agree with you guys. It's 3 for 3.
Oh,
amazing.
Look at that. See?
I feel like this overtime is either going to last 2 seconds or like 2 or 3 overtimes.
Yeah, exactly. If there's no goal in like the first 5 minutes, this is going like multiple overtimes without question.
Have we had many games that have gone, like game 1 of Rangers Penguins went 3, if I remember correctly. Has anybody else gone? I don't think anyone else has.
Well,
I covered an overtime game.
But do we have doubles and triples?
No.
If there's anyone who could help us answer this question, it's someone who's covered the cup run for the past 2 years And going into this season, it is the
Oh,
Athletics Joe Smith coming in from Amalie Arena. Joe, athletic writer for Tampa Bay, how are you? Give us the vibe. What's going on?
What's going on? Where's the White Claws at? You're disappointing me over here.
I'm drinking a pickle flavored beer actually, and it's very good.
None of us have actual White Claws today.
Got any IPAs there? I'll hop one open right now. Yeah, it's a good vibe here. I mean, exciting. You know, like obviously, I think there might be 2 players left by the end of this for the Lightning, with all the injuries. So I think they're hoping for an early end overtime.
What do you think? I was just gonna ask the vibe, but that was already asked.
Who do you
How
think
are you feeling
wins?
about the Lightning tonight?
I mean, I think they continued from Game 3. They played more of their identity and their style. That first period was the best period of the series, in my opinion, and hit a couple posts here. And so I think they haven't played their best game and lost yet in this series, so this could be that game too. It has kind of that weird feeling where some bounces gone Colorado's way, and Nico Sturm, who I have in the game-winning goal pool, almost scored unbelievably. So, yeah, it's going to be a interesting third period. But I still picked Alex Killorn to score a goal tonight, so I think it might be him in overtime.
I like that. You're sticking to your takes. We've all flip-flopped tonight, so at least you're sticking to your takes.
Joe, it feels like Colorado had to come back. What is the energy feeling of each team? Do you have a read on who's more confident right now?
Well, I think anytime you have Vasilevsky in net, you're going to be the more confident team. At least I think going in overtime period. Like he has the mental toughness of anybody I've ever covered. And so having him in overtime gives them a security blanket there. Kemper's been really good tonight, better than he was last game, and definitely a confidence booster for the Avalanche. But this is where the Lightning have been here and done that the last 3 years, whether it's overtime or late games. So I think they have the guys that maybe have that experience that'll help. But as long as they stay out of the penalty box, that power play for the Colorado, they could score 8 goals a game if they're playing against Tampa right now.
So what do you think is going wrong for Tampa Bay's power play? Because it seems like since the very first power play in Game 1, it hasn't been nearly as effective as we expect it to be.
Well, I think the Avs have done a great job, being aggressive. They're not giving I haven't seen a Stamkos one-timer the whole final in that power play. They've really been shading towards him. Not having Braden Point came back for the first couple of games, had a couple of looks in the middle, but they weren't giving him that Kucherov to Point one-timer, quick one off the stick. So they're being, I don't know if it's aggressive, but they're being smart with their sticks and kind of getting in lanes. So kind of forcing them to the outside. And you haven't seen any gimmies either, those little rebounds in front. I was a part of the Avalanche, but I think the Lightning, it's in their strength the first 3 rounds of the playoffs of their power play, and they haven't been able to get that big-time goal yet.
Joe, not to put you on the spot here, but what has been your favorite part of covering these million playoff runs in a row?
Oh, man. Tampa in June and July is nice and warm, so it's been beautiful.
Wait, what's up with the ice? Okay, I'll answer the first one first.
No, yeah. I mean, I think the fun part is trying to find another story on all the guys after 2 months of covering them again. So finding the 13th Steven Stamkos story to write has been the fun part of it. But, the travel's been great. Going to different cities. Denver was awesome there for a week. Did some hiking and stuff like that, too. So you make the most of it, and then hopefully you can sleep for 6 weeks after the season's over.
Yeah, hopefully.
You want to ask about the ice?
Yeah, what's up with the ice?
Yeah, I guess Kadri said it looked like shit earlier in the game, something like that. So I'll take his word for it. I'm a little higher up, so I can't really see, but not quite the ice in St. Pete at the Tropicana Field for the Winter Wonderland, but it's some guys are falling around a little bit. So
yeah, that's how it is, though. You got to win a cup in multiple hard ways, right?
Yeah.
Who knew the
What's your guys' pick? What's your guys' pick for overtime? Who's the hero tonight?
Oh, we didn't pick a player. We just
Ooh.
picked teams.
Andre Palat.
Oh, you gotta go Palat. I do love Palat.
I'll go McKinnon.
I'm gonna go Makar.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just feel like the comeback effort from Denver was pretty good, and I had Tampa winning tonight, but I feel like that turned the tide for me.
What do you think is going wrong for Tampa on the road? So now, if they can pull even tonight, they still have to try to win a game in Colorado.
Well, I know it's not an excuse, but I think the altitude gets to them in Game 2. Some players have played there in the past have said it's the second game really gets you really hard. So that could have been part of it. They got spanked pretty well in the game, so it wasn't just that. But I think now they're playing more to their identity, to their strengths, and stuff. They can probably carry this over. They won't get the matchups, but this Sorelli line's been terrific tonight. They get them against McKinnon line. That'll help them out in the next game. But as long as they don't get any more injuries, like losing Cherniak's huge, losing, who knows how Sorelli's going to feel tomorrow, much less on Friday. So I think with them playing their style a lot more is going to help them in Colorado, whatever the series is.
Do you have any insight, Joe, on what the situation is with Point? I know there's been some tweets about seeing him around the arena, but do you have any insight there? And do you think he comes back in the series?
I think he's still been dealing with the same problem that he had that last 10 games where they missed. And for him, he's always said, like, if I can't be effective or can't play my game, and he wasn't as good as retrievals and he wasn't as good on the forecheck and wasn't just have that speed burst that you usually see from him, he tried to gut it out. But I think he's smart enough and honest with himself to know, like, hey, if I can't go to my ability, all it takes is one slip up or one you don't get to a puck where you can lose a series. So, and Riley Nash has looked really good. He's no Braden Point, but that fourth line with Belmar and Maroon's been really effective. So, I think they're hoping he's not ruled out for the series, so that maybe he can play next game, the game after that. But I give them credit for him not trying to put his team at risk by not playing him when he's not ready to go. And if any player would play, it's him, because he's one of the toughest guys I've been around.
What's the biggest difference you've noticed from the Lightning when they've gone with 11 forwards and 70 versus adding Nash in to go with 12 forwards?
Well, I think you get more of a rhythm with 12 and 6, like, especially that line where Belmar, Maroon, and before Perry and now Nash, they get to see regular minutes, where if it's 11 and 7, those guys kind of get hidden a bit or lost. You double shift the Kucherovs and Stamkoses and those things. So 11 and 7 is good for that sense. So they can kind of mix the matchups up, give different feel, different looks to their team. And they've had success before in the past, but I think right now they're finding a good rhythm with their lines. They don't want to break that up too much. They don't want to break up Stamkos, Kucherov, and Palat. This Sorelli line's been really good. I think Colton, Perry, and Paul, each one of them have had chances tonight. So I think it does when they have a rhythm there with their lines. 12 and 6 is better, but 11 and 7 is when they have a chance to mix and match the matchups, and their top guys are rolling. They can do it.
Joe, is there anyone on Colorado who has stood out to you in either a really impressive or a really not impressive way this series?
Tonight, the whole series? Nichushkin. How do you pronounce that guy's name?
Nichushkin, that's my guy.
Nichushkin? Yeah.
Yeah, we love Val Nichushkin around these parts.
He's the best player on the ice the first two games. Like, every time he had the puck, he's making another $100,000 every time he has the puck on his stick. So, I give him a lot of credit. McKinnon only has one goal in this series or so, but he's really been so freaking fast out there, unbelievable. Everybody just backs up and watches. So, I would say that those two guys for them. McCarr, my first time watching him for several games in a row, so you get an appreciation for how he skates and his hockey sense. But it's a hell of a series, and I thought it'd go 7 games going into the series, and it might just be that way, depending how it goes.
Joe, is Tampa your pick? Do you have a pick, an unbiased pick?
For tonight or overall?
Overall.
I think whoever wins this game wins the series.
That's what Allison said.
Yep.
That's what I said.
So I'll tell you in 10 minutes or so.
No pressure. All right, Joe.
Go, Sarah.
Oh, Shayna, you go.
Oh, I was just going to ask, do you think that this is going to be a quick overtime, or you think we're getting multiples?
Multiples.
Oh,
and I'm at home, and my flight's not until 6 p.m. tomorrow, so I don't care.
This is what we call the reverse jinx. But Joe, thank you so much for joining us. We'll let you get back to your game. That's only a little bit important. I'll see you at Torch Lake this summer.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it. Too many men on this little show, I guess, right? One too many?
Yeah. Gotta go.
See you guys. Enjoy.
Bye,
it.
Joe.
Good luck.
Bye.
Bye.
He's such a gem. If you
He's
guys
so
don't
good.
know Joe, he's one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. He's a great journalist too.
Yeah, his work is outstanding.
Everything. He has literally everything covered, and we have to give him credit. He was an outstanding cup flipper. He really worked hard for that, and he was so good in the tournament.
He went to the University of Michigan, so
Now,
these
some
Big
people-
Ten schools.
People may not know what you're talking about, Shayna. You got to bring the people up to speed.
I have a dog thrashing. Hold on.
Oh, so during the pandemic, we hosted a virtual online flip cup tournament. And thanks to Sarah's elite talent booking skills, we had like everyone in hockey media on, and Joe brought it down. He was final 3. Is that right?
Yes.
Final 3.
Johnny won, right?
Yes, Johnny won, beating Jillian very, very nearly. Boy, was she happy after that.
That was great, though. We do have to do that again. We have to give some second chances.
Oh my God. Someone said the winner of this game will lose the series. Boom. You heard it here first. I love that. Not letting us do a little narrative.
Love it. Love it. All right. We're getting close here to overtime. And this is the stuff that's fun, man. You just, it all stops on one dime, on one play. It's going to be interesting to see who steps up. Certainly not Nichushkin, according to our good friend Joe, Shayna. That might be the first time you two have disagreed, maybe.
Yeah, probably. Like we definitely see eye to eye on a lot of things, or it'll be like Joe will give me a take and be like, do the numbers back this up? Or like, is there a chart to match with this?
That's right.
Meanwhile, I just DM Shayna at 2 a.m. Can I have a chart? And she's like,
graph me up, baby.
Like, I just think it'd be nice to have a chart in this way for aesthetic reason.
No, you and Joe are two of the people that definitely like were the first to do that. Be like, do you have a chart for this? But I give Joe a lot of credit. Like when me and him first started talking, he was like, can you show me how to use numbers? And like we were on the phone one day and we went through sites to use and how to find things. And I think just having that willingness to learn is so important.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, kids, here we go. The game is back on. Another reminder, we have 2 bits of TMM trivia for which you can enter your guesses on Twitter. Tweet us at 2_much_man and using the hashtag TMM trivia. The 2 trivia answers we're looking for is number 1, how many saves will Darcy Kemper have in this game so far? He has 34 on 36 shots. And then our second one is who will have the primary assist on the game winner. Looking for guesses on both of those. Winners will win a piece of Too Many Men drinkware, courtesy of yours truly, all 3 of us, because we love you guys. Shayna, what's going on?
Rich had his headphones on, was playing a game. I wanted to let him know overtime was starting, and I contemplated throwing the popcorn, but I didn't think it would reach there, and that would be a waste of a good piece of popcorn. So
you had to tell the man to watch the game, is what you're saying?
Indeed. Wow. He's playing Diablo on the side, so he has his 2 screen setup.
Like with the rods?
Rich, what do you mean the rods? Is that like a thing in the game? I really don't know.
Oh, it's in the, like the video game?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I thought you
meant like that's the thing in the video game. Like I've played this like once and I've seen him play it for like 100 years, but I don't know much about it.
I have not played the video game. I was thinking about something. It's a story for a different day. We got overtime hockey to watch.
And yes, we've got some questions. Yes, if you are guessing on number of saves, you can just put the number and our hashtag. If you tweet it at us, and same, you can just put the player's name and tweet that at us with the hashtag TMM trivia. Oh boy, here we see. Kemper just doesn't look settled to me though.
No, it was the way he got back to the net that looked concerning. Like I was like, all right, he was sharp on the save. I thought like to a point, and then it's like, oh no, don't even say it.
And Shayna, were you here? We figured out that Sarah's like 20 seconds of game time behind us.
No, I was not here for that. I missed that.
It's like 20
seconds. I had
seconds.
pins and needles in my foot. I had to walk it off. I've been sitting on my foot because Kona is outstretched here, and I was trying to keep her comfortable, and I'm like, this is not working.
All right, come on, guys. And one of the few things that the NHL has gotten right from the start is that there are no commercials in overtime. We love it. We love it.
Finally, they do something right.
Man, I missed. Okay, so I'm checking out here. So Tampa Bay continues to have the overall advantage in terms of offensive generation. It's not a huge margin, but it is there. As you can see up there, they've got the shot count, and that's carrying true in overall total shot quality, but interesting in 5-on-5. But interestingly, in 5-on-5 play, Avalanche still getting more shots off than the Lightning themselves. So this is going to be interesting to see. These guys, man. I remember, I mean, when I've covered playoff series, like I'm tired going game to game and I'm just sitting on my ass writing. I'm not even.
Oh my God. What the season that I was on the Hurricanes plane, it was like I couldn't even function.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it helps when they're making millions of dollars. Like, I guess I could function then, but like it is a lot. And like a lot of the times the guys don't like go to sleep right when they get off the plane.
Sure.
It takes a few hours. Like it's a lot of lost sleep.
I mean, here, us, as we're doing such strenuous work, I don't go to sleep when I finish the story. I don't care if it's 5 a.m. I am up. That it's like, okay, now how do you wind down? And like,
yeah, exactly.
I can't imagine after playing.
Rod Brindamore told me he never took naps as a player, never took naps as a coach.
Really? Not even a pregame nap?
Not even. He can't do it. I'm like him like that. I'm like, yeah, we're so alike, Rod. Like, I can't do that either.
You and me, Rod, we're the same.
Yeah,
Simpatico.
Napping is so hard. If you decide you're going to nap, you're not doing it.
Yeah.
I'm
not good at it.
I can't nap. If I nap, I sleep. Like there's no such thing as a nap.
If I don't have coffee and I wake up early, like there is a good chance I will fall asleep at some point. But like it'll be like I'm sitting down and I fall asleep, like even with my computer open or something. It's like I'm done for. But
this is like a Colorado power play right now.
Yeah. This was like their last overtime game too. That was in game 1. Like they took over in overtime and it didn't take them long to score. But Vasi was good by overtime. He just had a rough first period that game.
I mean, the pace of this is just.
If they were in Colorado, they wouldn't have this pace because the altitude and whatever other bullshit.
Although Joe did say it was a real thing.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Now someone needs to pay for us to go to Colorado to skate a couple laps. Well, first we need to skate at sea level. Then we need to be sent to Colorado to compare notes.
And do it 2 days over 3 in 2 of 3 days in a row for like 5 minutes. That'll be our equivalency test.
But like I feel like we'd be like told like we have to act like hockey players, like no drinking in between, no strip clubs in between.
Well, that wouldn't be acting like hockey players.
We're eating. No, it's too funny to me. And the addition of it tonight just made it even funnier. But no, we need to have like chicken parm, like players and stuff. We need to eat on we need to be like real players.
Our plane was catered by Chipotle, but I was always too
scared.
Shut
up. Are you serious?
Yeah, but I was too scared to ever get food, but I would always get drinks. Like, I don't know how that worked out in my head, but like.
So was it like, would they like make the bowls and stuff and burritos to order? Or was it all pre-made? I'm fascinated by this.
I think you had a few things you could pick from. But I never did because I'm an idiot. Like,
do you ever just get chips and guac?
Saved. I don't think you can do that. They also had like little snacks. Sometimes I dabbled in those, but it's like, I'm just some girl. I'm not even like employed by the team.
Exactly.
And they're like.
Exactly. If Tampa Bay wins this is going to be a backbreaker for Colorado because they are just controlling play right now.
Wow. That was a huge opportunity right there.
Yeah. But this is why Vasilevsky's such a difference maker, right? I mean, you can come down with a top-notch scoring chance and he just says no. It's
literally like the most important thing.
I mean, Logan
I'm not breaking any news here, but to have a good goalie.
it's breaking.
It's not like that was Mikko Rantanen coming down the ice. Like, don't get me wrong, but still, like,
right.
I just saw it, and I'm wow, guys.
I'll never forget.
So that second one, though, hold on, sorry. Do you see that rebound he got with his skate? Imagine he scored on the rebound. Would that have even counted?
Well, DKM, you never know anymore either. Oh,
this is true.
It's interesting to me, like it's Vasilevsky is doing it right now too, because a goaltender I covered for a while told me once, and I've said this now a couple times, that we all sit and we go ooh to like the crazy, like wild sprawling lunging saves, and we think that's amazing. But for a goaltender, it's the non-flashy saves, because that means you were in the right position right from the start. Yeah, those 100%. Are the more impressive saves for them than what we all sit and react to.
Yeah, like I think when there is like that quick lateral pass and then like a one-timer off of it and you're going to see that crazy save, like the fact that they get over, like they made the right play there. But it's sometimes like you'll see like, oh, they shot it right into his glove. Like, no, he got his glove in the right position for that shot.
Yeah, the number one example of this, like you can clearly see, is Mike Smith. Oh, wow. That
Post.
looks like, yeah, that's a close. Oh, if they lose, you'll be thinking about that one. But Mike Smith, like he's such a high event goalie, and he has so many good saves, but he has so many bad goals allowed. It's like, just calm down, bro.
Don't Andre Pavlik. I
I
remember with Andre Pavlik, he was so chaotic in net that he did better on those high shot games because he could constantly be moving and making saves. And on the low event games, he was like overcommitting to plays, and that was screwing him, and he had a harder time. And it was like, it surprised me a bit, but then like you start to like, I didn't understand enough about goaltending like when I noticed that, and then it was like, okay, now you start to like see it now that you like get adjusted, because you'd be confused, like, why is a goalie allowing more goals? Like, is he not being tested enough? Is he cold in between it? Things like that. Right. But it's like, no, it's his playing style that influenced it.
Oh yes, Mrazek is one who plays himself out of position, and I have to be honest, I loved covering him. He was so fired up, and he'd do like flips when they won, like that video of when he won the Czech tournament, or the juniors Czech tournament, when he was in net. He was literally freaking out. I loved him, but there's a reason why the Leafs couldn't roll with him during the playoffs. Like, it's just,
how does this affect the Leafs?
Starter. Yeah, it all goes back to the Leafs, folks.
Good job. I mean, look at this. Oh,
it's the fourth line. Oddly enough, it's the fourth line for Colorado randomly getting these chances. That was Helm, I think. Like, it's the fourth line they're so good defensively, and they've come up with random goals that you just wouldn't expect because none of them are offensively inclined guys. You have Andrew Cogliano, who's dealing with some sort of
None of them are offensively inclined.
Well, like, relative to the average NHLer, they're shut down players, they're defensive players, they're penalty killers, and they've made good careers of it. But like, Cogliano has a hand, thumb, wrist, something injury that's going to affect his scoring ability even more. Darren Helm, no one expected to have the OT winner that he did. And these are the players getting chances.
Oh, man.
I'm here.
What's your clock time now, Sarah?
13:17.
Okay. We're in a replay. We're at 3rd. Oh, okay. Now you've caught up. I'm at 13:13. Shayna, what do you
me
have?
Too.
But did play just stop for you?
Yeah.
Or start?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there you go.
That's okay. I think a few seconds behind both of you anyway. So it's like helpful to see this play out in real time in my mind.
All right, I'm going to check in here. Let's see what we've got. According to Money Puck, right? Well, oh my. So those last two chances that we were just remarking on that Vasilevsky stopped, that brought Colorado more or less even with Tampa Bay in terms of overall shot quality in all situations, according to Money Puck. So we're running pretty darn straight down the middle right now with both teams in terms of what they produced. Yeah. Boy, this is going to be a backbreaker, whichever team wins this game.
This is the game I wanted these entire playoffs. I mean, I do honestly like the fun, flashy goal scoring games, but I also love the tension in a game like this.
Yes. And again, it's like, I mean, this is when these two teams made it to the final, I was so excited because these are two such great teams that I think have deserved to be in this position playing for the cup. And so to get to this kind of a game is awesome.
Exactly. Like, so many times in years past, there's like a team that got kind of fluky and got lucky, and there's merit in that too. And that's kind of fun too, because like that's the whole point of the postseason. And then I'll go on my tangent about how I don't think so many teams should get into the postseason, because that happens. But I digress. This is what we get when it's the two best teams. I just feel like there's so many fluky situations when half the damn league gets to get into the playoffs. Yeah. And then the league is like, let's get more teams in it because they just want to make money because they can't make $1 because they don't market their sport.
Let's have a play-in. No, let's not. Thank you. Not. I beg of you. Wow, this is crazy.
Someone said the color on the broadcast just dim. I don't know if I'm going crazy, but I think it did for me.
What happened?
The color on the broadcast got like a little dimmer.
Oh,
damn.
I need
Was that a
replay.
save or the post? I know. I want to see that again. Come on, show that.
Damn.
Show that play, please. Let's see that.
Ooh.
Here we go.
Byram. Oh, it gets
Oh,
blocked.
that's what I'm watching now.
Off the
Crossbar. Oh my
post.
god.
That's insane.
And then that save by Vasilevsky. They're perfect in position.
Rangoon screaming. I mean, it's the crossbar. It's Vasi.
I mean, this is where guys like Joe and some of the other writers who cover it, like, to write this game story, like, the moments are just like jumping out at you right now. Thank you. My home producer is giving me another beverage.
Oh, good.
Here we go.
Home correspondent producer.
My home correspondent producer.
Shayna, and we were talking about this when we were covering Rangers versus Canes. It was like there was none of these moments. It was like,
no, there really weren't.
It was a miserable series to cover. This is fun.
I think it was the least fun series, out of the play. Like, I wanted Colorado versus Edmonton to go longer, sure, but at least it was exciting within the games. Like, there was a blandness to it, to the games, and it was on both teams, in my opinion. Like, the Rangers played up and the Canes played down a bit, but it just, some of the games too, like the number of stoppages and the pace was affected by it and everything. Like, this is jump out of your seat moments throughout the series that you'd be hoping for.
What, other than this final right now, what was your favorite series of this year's playoffs?
Battle of Alberta had some chaos, but I did wanted that to go longer. So
tapered
but
off.
It was good, but it was still a good series.
Honestly, I did love Tampa versus Toronto. I thought that series was so exciting because you saw the gear kick in for Tampa Bay for games 6 and 7. And I was so intrigued to see how Toronto would handle things. Even game 1, the power killing from Toronto, that was really good, I think.
Yeah. Shayna, I agree with you.
Wow. I did like Rangers Penguins. I was so there were storylines within that I was curious about how they would battle back, how Shesterkin would bounce back, how the Rangers could manage to contain Crosby and how they didn't. And obviously things with the injuries got messy, but that series definitely had some drama that made it entertaining. Trying to think, round 1. Dallas versus Calgary had 2 great games and was terrible otherwise.
Did you guys just see that shot they showed of Vasilevsky? His not headshot, but I swear he looks like Prince Philip out of a Disney movie.
There he is. Oh my God. Yeah.
Bless you.
He could be very cartoonable. Toss that guy into a cartoon. They made a cartoon of Jacob Slavin. He's also one of those.
Oh, they did? That's amazing.
Yeah, and he was on this hockey show where he explained hockey to kids. It was really cute.
Oh, yeah. I love that. All right, so now, okay, this is not for any prizes. We'll see. How many overtimes does this game go?
Please.
Sarah?
Yeah, 2.
Okay.
What do you think, Allison?
Because I'm a masochist, I'm going to say 3.
Thanks, Colin. Thank you.
Yeah, a lot of people agreeing with you, Shayna. They liked Toronto, Tampa. They liked Pittsburgh, New York. Sarah, what was your pick for favorite series out there?
I was going to say, no one's saying Edmonton Avalanche. I really enjoyed that.
And Edmonton, LA was, I think, really interesting. But they were
that's true.
You could look at, there were 2 games, I think, that were really boring. But and it was because the Oilers just dominated. But one of the best games of the playoffs, I think, came in that series. Was it game 6 when Kempe scored to extend the series in overtime? The Kings took the lead, the Oilers battled back. It goes to overtime, the Kings win it. That I thought was so exciting to watch.
Yeah.
I forgot about that series. This is how long it's been.
I know. I really thought the Kings were going to come back and win that. That was exciting. The future is bright for them.
Future is bright in LA.
There's had that disruptor potential and like the things we're hoping to see, and the fact that they won the first game like was the chaos that we needed. Good. I think round 2 was definitely the worst in my opinion. Battle of Alberta was definitely the best series, but like it left me wanting more because it ended so short because we didn't get the full Brady Tkachuk experience. Like,
oh yeah, okay, let's talk seriously. Let the boy live. Let him live. Let him have his fun. Let him enjoy his time celebrating his brother. Who the hell cares? He wasn't hurting anyone. He was with his dad. Like, come on.
No love for Minnesota, someone said. No,
they disappointed me.
Yeah, I wanted them to do so much better.
I like the Wild. They're a team that I don't know why I like them as much as I do, but I have for a while. And like, I was that series, like I was hoping would be more. Wow. What another great save.
Oh my God, to not score here.
Hagel with that block. He's had a couple really key. See, like we talk about block shots.
I can't wait to one day see what you guys are talking about.
We were talking about block shots before, and like those are the moments. Like Hagel has made some really key blocks in. I think Tampa Bay is the most memorable with some of their blocks this postseason.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
there it is.
What a stick.
Zach, I agree that the series with Vegas was really great, but honestly, they gave us enough regular season drama to hold on for the playoffs. Like, they really did.
What?
Wait, I'm sorry.
What?
I thought play stopped.
Well, we're about to see it again.
Please. I'd love to.
Oh my God.
Holy cow.
Volume would be great. Thank you.
Well, how about a replay? Oh, you know what? I bet they don't have the angles. If Scott Malone is still here, maybe you can chime in. Sometimes you're waiting to make sure you have an angle to see. Let's look. Oh,
that is a goal. There's no nothing. That is a goal. My God. Good for you, Kadri.
Someone in here said Kadri right before.
Holy crap.
Wow. Just like you wrote it up.
To come back, your first game, to be so quiet and then to come back with that kind of a finish. Oh my God.
The narrative begins. Did he do it on purpose? To trick everybody.
Oh my God.
Wow.
You always got to love the fan shots after the fact. I want to see it. Dude.
How?
I
mean, just think about the ability to.
They're screaming. They are screaming "Yeehaw" at that party in Colorado right now.
Yeah, no, they're screaming Yahoo.
Yahoo.
Who among us?
3-2 win. Nazem Kadri with the game winner in overtime. What an impressive effort! And I'll tell you, I want to hear you guys' thoughts. Colorado earned that in the overtime, I think. Colorado controlled that. Oh my God,
no doubt about it. They were by far the better team. Shot attempts at 5-on-5 were 18-7 according to Natural Stat Trick. Scoring chances were 10-3, and if we adjust for score and venue, expected goals, it was almost 87% in Colorado's favor in that overtime. So, and that's likely before that last shot.
Wow.
Or even last couple of shots. Either way, that they crushed it. That's 2 overtime games now that Colorado has come out absolutely positively swinging.
That's Surrender Cobra in the crowd. I love a Surrender Cobra mention. That's
why I had to change my answer and say they were going to win the game, just because it's like with this team, you can tell when they get into it, they get back in the game, they're going to take it over. Like, it's funny because both of these teams are so like that. And tonight it was Denver. Like, this is such a close series.
Yes. Amazing. Well, let's come back over to our trivia. Shayna, this might take you a minute or so, unless you're already ready. Lehkonen has the primary assist on the game winner, and Darcy Kemper finishes the game with 37 saves. That's 37 saves for Darcy Kemper, and the primary assist on the game-winning goal to Artturi Lehkonen to put the Avs up 3-2 and take the series to now a commanding Avs lead.
37 saves?
That is correct.
Okay, so we have one for 37 saves. They got the score wrong, but two separate things. So
yep. We're checking now. So we do have someone with, well, no,
38,
you didn't have to have both
so
of them.
close.
You didn't have to have both of
them.
them.
No, two separate ones, but they put it in one tweet. So I was making sure.
Oh, I see.
35. Okay, we have 2 for 37.
See, Thomas, that's what you learn. Thomas Davis said he had 37 in the chat, but he should have tweeted. Yes. Let this be your lesson.
That's what they all say.
Wow. Colorado up in the series 3-1.
I can't wait to read like an oral, when all is said and done, an oral history of Nazem Kadri's playoffs. Like, I don't know why I suddenly lost the ability to talk. I'm just on too many podcasts all day, every day. But I'm just going through puberty while watching Kadri go off. So
okay, we don't have a winner for the final goal.
Okay.
Let's go.
We did have a secondary assist for Darcy Kemper, his first of the postseason. Shout out Darcy Kemper.
Okay, random number generator says 3. So who is third? Hold on. We need the most recent one then, and that is
that was insane.
Someone said somewhere Jordan Bennington is throwing a water bottle. I just picture him at home. It was his God-given opportunity struck again.
I love that. That's amazing. That is fantastic. That's so good.
Okay. Let me make sure this is 37
Kevin,
total.
Twitter
Okay,
is
Alex
bad, but we all live there
Gabriel.
anyway.
Alex Gabriel wins.
Shout out
for
Alex
37
Gabriel.
saves.
Let's hear it for Alex Gabriel. That's awesome.
I will message the winners. I'll probably do this in the morning. I'm not going to lie, but I will message the winners and set it up. So that's Scott and Alex, who both win Too Many Men Drinkware.
Great. Awesome.
So tomorrow morning, expect a DM from the Too Many Men official Twitter account.
Perfect. Y'all, this was so much fun. Thank you for joining us. We would not have been able to do this without the entire team at the Le Batard Network, and particularly our producer here tonight, who has been working minor miracles at every turn. Mike Fuentes behind the scenes. Thank you so much, Mike. Thank you to everyone who joined us. We'll see if we can do another one of these. We'll certainly try and be back with you to connect. Thank you all so much for listening to our show. If you haven't been doing so regularly, follow us on Twitter at 2_much_man. We put shows out there. Follow the Le Batard account, of course, and follow their feed wherever you listen to podcasts to take in our content. We hope that you enjoy what we have to share. On behalf of all of us, we hope to see you soon. Sarah, Shayna, your thanks and goodbye to the people. What do you have to say?
Oh, love you so much. Thanks so much for stopping by. I genuinely was laughing at like half of these comments. You guys brought it tonight. So you guys are even working harder than us. And I appreciate the laughs more than you know.
Yeah, thanks everyone for joining us and hanging out with us for this. We hope you had a great time. I think I reined it in, so you shouldn't have drank that much. I'm sorry that no one else used their words. It's an odd day. It's an odd day today, but thank you for joining us.
Thanks, guys. We hope to see you soon, and we'll be in touch wherever you listen to podcasts and hopefully on the social channels as well. Here's to a great continued Stanley Cup final. We'll be with you every step of the way. Take care from the Too Many Men crew.
Thanks so much.